Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Today we will have the podcast. The three guests are Zachmazer, and if you don't know Zachmazer, he is the IGL of VP, Virtus Pro, and we have Jhawk. And if you don't know him, you need to check his YouTube videos because he does one of the best, and if not the best, YouTube content for Apex. The third one is a last minute sub. He's the super sub right now, which is Liuq. Liuq is the coach of GG Gaming Gladiators, and he already achieved quite a lot in this game. He was with us before in one of the podcasts, and now he's again subbing for Gnaske. Gnaske has a scrims, and the topics for today are, first of all, we'll talk about the Rostermania, not deeply into what changes are and who is where and so on. Maybe we'll go into this a little bit, but actually we'll talk about the topic Rostermania, the changes. Why do they happen? What triggers such a Rostermanias? Is the transfer system actually healthy to have it around? Is actually like a personal synergy issues between the players that triggering such a things and problems? The second topic is ALGS Open. The most important thing is about the ALGS Open. First of all, the format. Is it good? Is it bad? What's positive? What's negative? What do we want to change in the future? Surprises from the things. Why some teams actually did bad? Why the tier 1 teams, some of the tier 1 teams did bad? What should we change in the future? 160 teams formats. First time having a kind of a LAN, everything together from a POI draft to a Legends ban to 160 teams as well. Kind of an overall system, and we talk about it. Then we'll have the last topic is the latest game updates. It means like the introduction of a new legend, which is Sparrow legend, and the buff for Pathfinder, the changes of weapons. What is the meta right now, at least for competitive point of view, from the competitive point of view, and what are the changes for the legends and the weapons meta, and which one is now good? Is it Devotion? Is it Havoc? Is it P20? Is it R99? Sentinel? What is it? So we'll talk about like kind of a lot of game changes. And chat, as DZ right now wrote, if you read this, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. Let's start with the most important, or let's say with the most hot topics right now in the social media for us for Apex. It's a Rostermania. The thing is, after every major event, after everything big, which is a LAN or anything really huge, especially LAN, we get the Rostermania. So the question is, what triggers that thing? Why is it happening? Why people immediately and teams immediately starts to implode and try to immediately swap players? What could be the reason? Synergy? Problem on chemistry? What is it? Is it the whole system right now that triggered the worst thing is that the players are holding the points?
I just think it's EWC. I mean, there'll always be a couple roster moves because people want to do good at lands, and there's going to be a couple here and there, but orgs are willing to overinvest for EWC. So if you think, picking up Sykes could dramatically change that placement, orgs will be willing to put that money forward that they wouldn't for like the ALGS Open, right? Mm-hmm. So I just think it has nothing to do, well, it'll have something, but it'll have very little to do with the actual ALGS Open and a lot more to do with EWC and the pressure of doing good at EWC.
For this one specifically, it's kind of the only, not really, but it's the best window to make changes for the rest of the year until after champs, because since the points are tied to the individuals. After AWC, you're gonna see most of the rosters that have the top spots already been locked. And to make sure that you qualify to champs, you need to have someone that has already. And the ones that have points most likely will be locked.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's EWC, and I think like after the Open, if there was any sort of issues that you felt like your team had during Pro League that maybe got highlighted during that, if you already felt like maybe you were leaning towards a change, then with EWC like so close with very few Pro League days left for your team to like prove themselves, why not just do it now? Get it out the way and go into EWC ready.
I mean, we are already only 2 Pro League days played. We played only an Open. And some of the changes, I can agree that this is based on AWC as he spoke. And it's like the team wants to get the best of them for the best individual that is in the market. For example, as Zach already mentioned, if Sykes is a free, some team's gonna drop someone for Sykes. But like some teams are dropping Sykes. Some teams are dropping Sykes. Some teams are dropping Yanya. Some teams are dropping Lufka. Some teams are dropping Funk. Some teams are dropping a lot of the big names. Why are they happening? What is happening?
I answered the first question first. Someone else go.
I was gonna say, I feel like with the Open, with how many games you had to play, like if there was no Open in the middle of Pro League, I don't think a lot of the roster changes would have happened right now. Some of them might have, but like for example, the Yanya thing. I mean, Timmy's talking about it comes down to team role, it comes down to fit, like the characters he's having to play. We want a more like anchor player, and I feel like that just comes down to they played on LAN against a lot of the best teams, not just, the NA teams they play in their groups. They kind of, with that many games packed into one weekend, I think it highlights those issues. And so at that point, you realize, all right, this is the reason we want to make a change. Let's just do it now so we can get a new third, have more time to prepare for the next one.
Like you talk about like now the team roles, some people spoke about even synergy when it comes to maybe like dropped what he said, like there was an IRL stuff with the Sykes and let's say synergies things maybe. So why are you teaming with those people from the beginning? Didn't you know from the beginning that Yanya will gonna make you an issues for the team roles? Why are you teaming with the Sykes as well?
Well, the reason that Envy started with Sykes is the same reason that NRG is starting with Sykes right now. Like people, including myself, I do it too. We'll all give you a million realistic and good reasons why. We'll give you reasons that, make sense. Like, for example, like the NRG Yanya thing with like the roles. Stuff like that, it checks out. It's true. Nobody's lying. But at the end of the day, if you had to sit down at a table and say, hey, do I want to play with Sykes, who just so happens to be Guild's roommate, all on the same team, yada, 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 or do I want to play another split with Yanya, right? It's like if you isolate it and you don't take it, the roles and all the other stuff that could or could not be a factor, like 99% of people in that situation are going to take Sykes, right? And Timmy had a bunch of really fair and good reasons, but it's the same thing for Envy. It's like you knew getting Sykes coming off of, I think that roster was with Sweet, right? I can't remember, but I think it was Sweet before that. It was like you were listening to like Sykes when a game would get thrown and it was or wasn't Sykes' fault. He would just start like yelling. Like Sykes hasn't changed. He's still the same incredible player that he's always been. But like what you're getting with Sykes. There's nothing like hidden that you didn't see. And dropped, I'm assuming Envy was under the assumption that like it wouldn't be a big deal or it wouldn't be as big of a deal as they thought it'd be. Or who knows, but either way, it's just people valuing like skill over stuff outside the game, and then 6 months go by and then they're like, wow, the skill no longer is outweighing this other stuff. And it's a never-ending circle with a lot of the top players because they're just so good you can't ignore them, and you just have to hope that a lot of the top players make changes for the better. That way they just keep getting better.
So we saw a lot of examples in the scene that they stick together and they do good results in the long term. They try to overcome even an issues that the players or the team has, try to solve them together. We have even seen in small teams, like from tier 2 going into tier 1, into Pro League, even doing later. I'm going to give an example on it, which is Weave, that was Empire. They qualified to Pro League, they went to the LAN, they did really great at the LAN. They kept sticking together. I know that they dropped after the qualing from to the Pro League, they changed the player. I don't think they dropped him. I think they changed him to Carter. And then because I think Shiny stopped playing, or I think it was Shiny stopped playing with them, and they brought Carter from I think EEC, was it? Do you think sticking together as a team, trying to improve stuff, are good, or do you think is like teams shouldn't be patient, shouldn't be like doing this, and sometimes some of the issues are unsolvable?
This is the perfect two people to ask this question, because these guys' teams have stuck together.
Yeah,
it depends.
Whoa.
I mean,
well, okay, Zach, maybe not historically, but at least your current team.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was like, I have made this mistake before. So.
Yeah, but
nobody can say I didn't learn from my lesson. Nobody can say I didn't learn from my lesson. But yeah,
true.
No, it's what he said. It just depends on the actual internal. Like it depends on what the actual issues are. Like if the issues are like almost out of game things where like people just genuinely don't like each other, and you guys are getting 8th through 10th, and you want to be a winning team, then like yeah, definitely make a change. But it'll always be a case to case.
It depends if your issues are workable or not. And for example, we just made a change, right?
Yeah.
We obviously had issues. They showed in Sapporo. They showed in New Orleans. After Sapporo, we talked about them. We decided to go and try to fix them. We didn't, and that's it. But up until like 10 days ago, we were the longest standing roster in the world. We played together for a year and a half. We worked through it. Was it worth it? Yeah, we got a second and a fourth. Definitely worth it. At some point, for other rosters, it might not be the same.
I understand. So, do you based on that now with the whole changes that is happening, do you think the whole transfer system that Apex has is healthy? Do you think
No.
do you think maybe they should not allow changes during Pro League, at least to give some stability to the players, at least to give some a little bit of a some teams, as he said, might get an issue that unsolvable, but they are already long term. They've been together for long. But you can't now convince me that the team just started playing in a Pro League. After 2 weeks, he said, I'm going to drop someone. Do you think should be not allowed to change teams during the whole full Pro League? You can drop before, you can drop after, but not during the Pro League, except for emergency for sure.
I don't think it's cut and dry like that because they keep doing things like this open event or EWC or stuff like this. There's like these third-party tournaments that are associated with EA that that fall in the middle of these pro leagues, and LANs are what like control our esport. Like if you get a 40th at EWC, you should be making a change. If you get a first at EWC, you shouldn't be making a change, right? If EWC is in the middle of a pro league split, then being like landlocked to a team that just got dead last at EWC is going to destroy your pro league as well. Like your team morale, like continuing to work on that when something might be like unexplainably broken, it'd almost be pointless. It'd almost be like ending careers. Could you be like, why am I showing up for this when I know it's failing and I'm just stuck?
At the same time, like I understand. The thing is, we are different from traditional sports because I've seen the talks about like having transfer windows. So you can only make changes, let's say, before and after Pro League, something like that. But like Zach said, if you just bombed DWC in the middle of Pro League, our rosters are not as deep as that of a traditional sports team that maybe has 20 players and you have to play 5. We have 3 players, we have to play 3. So if one of them doesn't fit, the team is bombed completely. Like there's no going around it. The team won't work, period. So I personally don't have a solution or an improvement to what there already is. There definitely need to be changes because there's issues, blah, blah. I personally don't have a solution though. Like I don't really know how to make it better. That's why I'm usually on it.
The only counterpoint I would bring up to like the EWC example, and I know this is not going to happen to 99.999% of teams, but SSG was bad at EWC last year and then goes and wins Mannheim. And so I do think that if teams, and that was a team that was going into Mannheim knowing they were probably going to break up. So if any team was as out of it as you could possibly be, which once again, I know most teams do not have that talent level, that, you know, all that stuff that they had to make it work. They didn't have the opportunity to bring in a coach like Don to try and fix things. But they did it. And I do think from a viewer perspective, I understand why a lot of people find it impossible to follow this esport when they format the tournaments in weird ways. Like, I agree. It's hard to say that we should have specific windows when we're literally throwing a LAN in the middle of Pro League. Like, I think players should be allowed to make changes after a LAN. But when you throw it in the middle of Pro League, it just makes things weird. So I don't blame teams and players on that stuff. But I do think that there should be I don't know if they necessarily need to force it, but there should be some sort of way that we have less roster changes in the middle of things like this because it makes it so difficult to try and follow the esport. And that's why it's not shocking when the teams that stick together have the biggest fan bases, like a Falcons or an Alliance, because you know who's on the team. You can follow that easily.
I think it's a super interesting point to bring up that SSG roster because I view it the exact opposite. I think of it as if I feel like if you asked them, would you have won that LAN if you guys were stuck together? They would say not even close. I think them going into it knowing that they were like splitting up relieved a lot of the pressure of like the actual tournament. And I think if they were in an environment where they were completely stuck together no matter what going into that LAN trying to make it work, I don't think that result would have been the same. I think them having that freedom and understanding the outcome no matter what really eased into their placement. I know for a fact because I walked and talked to them behind the stage of that specific event. They had, I'm pretty sure they had 0 points after game 2.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They did.
And they went on to win the tournament, right?
Yeah.
Now, in an environment where you care a lot more than, oh well, doesn't matter if we get 20th place because either way I'm leaving, like yada yada yada. That changes the dynamic, right? Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason they won. I'm just saying like stuff like that, all those small things, they add up, right? And it'd be different in a situation where like privacy is recommending, you're just like locked in no matter what. Honestly, the bigger issue of it all is what privacy is suggesting is exactly how it should be, but the LANs should be lined up with Pro League where
Okay.
they're just
This is what it is
they're
right
just
now.
after the Pro League. And then our transfer window is like 2 weeks after LAN, and then that like 2 weeks later we have our first Pro League week. But I mean, it's just so hard because we don't get control over the schedule, and that seems very obvious that that's how it should work, but not how it is.
Okay, so the
Personally,
thing,
I think that a good start would also
Keep-
a good start would also to be to know the schedule in the first place, aside from having control over it, because
Yeah.
we don't know when
Yeah.
Pro League is next split, when LAN is. We don't know anything.
True, but wasn't all
So
the
it's easier
time?
to plan. It's hard to plan.
Wasn't all the time the LAN is after Pro League? Never fell in between Pro Leagues split. You finish your
Yeah,
Pro League and then you get your LAN. So like if you keep back to the system which it was, then you shouldn't be swapping during Pro League. But we still saw a lot of swaps during Pro Leagues. Even wasn't
Well, that-
as big
yeah.
as this, but we still had a lot, right?
Well, I would then you would double back to like there should be 0 trade window throughout the entirety of Pro League, and then the second the LAN ends, there's a trade window for let's say like 2 weeks, right? And then it closes back up because you have Pro League 2 weeks later. I would totally be down for that, but I mean, I just don't see us going back to that system. I think they're going to continue to do ALGS Open, and I don't think it's going to be aligned with the first split.
So as Bomber is saying, as a fan, you really cannot build this kind of and like there is in traditional sports, you are a fan of a team. Right now in Apex, you are not a fan of a team, you are a fan of player. Because because of what's happening right now. Like I know in soccer, I'm a fan, let's say, of Arsenal. I'm a fan of Barcelona, I'm a fan of whatever. Just because the team is nice. Yeah, they do swap players. Not that super frequently. There is still like because in football there's 10 players or 11, and then you can like get a lot of along. But here is I can't. I know I'm a fan of a Zero. I'm a fan of a Hal. I'm a fan of Zachmazer. I'm a fan of whoever, and then that's what I am. Like
part of that though is like it comes down to like the stability of orgs in the esport. Like you can't necessarily like other esports when they have like the integration with the orgs in the game and they're doing skins and all this stuff. The orgs are a lot more stable, built around specific players. So it feels like I can just be an Alliance fan. Alliance and Falcons are like the only 2 examples in Apex where it's like they're committed to their players, they're just stuck with them. But when it comes to like Apex, that's just not the case, right? Like if you were an LG fan back when Yanya and those boys were on LG, you thought that was the case, and then all of a sudden they drop that roster and they pick up Sweet in them. So now you're a Liquid fan, and then then Yanya leaves, and so there's just like a lot more change because I think there's a lot less stability in the like on the org side, and then there's also a lot less stability when it comes to the players. But with the old system too, the old system had different problems than I think we do now. Back when like it was like Pro League LANs, they had the whole thing where the coaches could like maintain the spots with one player. They had the thing where, I mean, with you guys picking up Zainu, you could literally pick up a player right before regional finals. If they just didn't make it so it was that late, if you made the cutoff date like 5 weeks earlier, then we don't have that problem. So I don't know. They just always seem to have like 2 or 3 issues that make it so that you can kind of just do whatever you want.
If they did that system, we would have never got Zanyu.
True. I mean, the coaching part still exists, by the way.
True.
Like,
yeah.
Because I mean, you can just be signed as a player. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I think well, I follow COD. I follow a lot of esports, but you see in COD a lot with like the whole Optic fan base. Like it almost doesn't even matter who's on the team. They're just like, holy green wall, And it is really hard to build that in Apex unless you stay together for a long period of time. But I don't think people give enough credit to the orgs. I think it's a lot more on the org than it is sometimes even the player to generate that type of fan base. Like filming like the process or like all this content that like follows you around, and it's like a super deep dive into the team and behind the scenes and the arguments, the pretty, the ugly, all that stuff. That really attributes a lot to creating that fan base. I think staying together helps a lot, and having like a core 1 player, whatever, build around. But yeah, I could totally see an environment where like Falcons, if they choose to build around Zero for the next 10 years, if they just made a series like following the Falcons team forever, I think it would dramatically grow the fan base. And I think if we saw 3, 4, 5 teams have big enough orgs with budgets to fund something like that, I think it would help a lot. But I don't know. I feel like I've had the most fans of my teams when I've been with them the longest. I think there's a super strong correlation there. Like VP's fan base is growing significantly right now because we just keep staying together. My C9 rosters way back when with Naughty that we'd stay together, I think for a year and a half. With Alb, that roster had its most fans at the end. So there's definitely some correlation there. It's definitely really hard for a fan to just follow a team when it's changing every 3 months.
Don't you think, like, as well, orgs in Epic specifically, they don't do enough of a content for their players or for their team to build this kind of relation? Everything that is built into the inside of the org as a relation between the fan and the players is mostly is a player effort, unless it's like a really org that knows how to do content. I don't see enough content from any org right now to help that.
I think people miss the point when it comes to content, like making content of a team. They think it's like, oh, we need to fly them out to LA. We need to get pictures of our team. We need to do, a 3-day like day in the life. We need to like have a couple vlogs. We'll take them to Disney and we'll put up a video. Like that's what orgs think is like esport content. You see that all the time, but in my opinion, it's like people just want to like follow. Like people aren't necessarily in love with the players unless it's like Faker, right? So what it should be, in my opinion, is like, there should be an extra person in the Discord call, the private Discord calls of scrims. There should be an extra person in the private Discord calls of ALGS recording the audio. And then you can put up, a YouTube video of how we did in Pro League Week 1. And they get to hear so much more of the behind the scenes that FaZe miss. Falcons die and you hear Hal go, "Zero, you're a and then it cuts off. And every single person is like, "Oh my God, I want to know what Hal said."
I want to know what happened.
And they would go, yeah, exactly, right? So there's just so much content behind it. There could be. And it's all on the orgs too. When it comes to like editing, like again, we have like $5,000 PCs. Like, are you really trying to convince me that you couldn't throw up a Discord live and have someone like record your Discord live, or you couldn't like record your VOD in higher like quality, and then you could send it to an editor and they could edit the whole tournament together with the comms, the whole 9 yards? That would go insane for Falcons in specific, and I'm sure it would grow other teams as well.
So the thing is, what I meant with the content did not mean what you were talking, like, flying, doing this Disney stuff, IRL vlogs. Maybe it's a fine to do it from time to time, but like a content that can be a group of the full team with a prepared script and a content for the piece of content for the players to show the good things about them. Anything, like even now a podcast thing together, what we are doing right now.
Yeah.
And org is not doing that. Most of the orgs don't do that. And all it takes is a person dedicated into writing something, piece of content, and bringing everyone together once a week, once a 2 weeks, 1 3 weeks, and put them in.
You can see the org that's doing it. They're not doing it with Apex or anything. Well, they did do it with Apex once, but 100 Thieves is very good at this because they're primarily based off of content creators. And look at that, their latest collab is with Adidas.
Yeah.
Like, not the Jimmy's store on the corner on the road. And so it is doable. It's just that it needs to be, there needs to be investments, and it's obviously maybe scary from the org side to invest in that type of stuff. I don't know the financial aspect. I don't know how content should be done to make sure that it actually goes viral or that it grows the team popularity. Not my job, but there's definitely stuff that can be that you can grab inspiration from. As I said, 100 Thieves is the prime example in my opinion. They have podcasts for everything.
Good. Kamal is saying, isn't that just actually on EA, no revenue shares? I don't think what I give as an idea needs a really revenue. It needs a lot of money. It's a stuff that does not needs just kind of a plan and a dedicated person. But we stuck
I feel like
with
for orgs too, like the easiest way to make content is, do y'all remember like the old like NRG when they had like Asu, Lulu, Rogue, and then they also had like the sweet Nathan roster, and all they would do is they would take their big content creators who could pull views when they make this content, and they would bring their pro team in, and they would just kind of like cross-pollinate them. So it's like, we're gonna do a hide and seek, we're gonna have Lulu, Sweet, Nathan, Rogue, right? And
That's
so it's like
amazing.
you're bringing people in for the content creators, but then they get exposure to the pros and then become like bigger and bigger fans. So I don't know. I think it's not that difficult. It's just an investment. And I think most orgs, just because of the way that Apex is right now, they don't see any reason to invest financially outside of just like getting a team for exposure and like maybe, prize earnings and all that stuff.
I think it's both. I think it's both too. Like I think you said cross. Did you say cross pollinate?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah,
I mean,
think that's
like, for
important.
example,
But I
like you
no,
said
I
with
know.
Arda
I know what
Pig.
you meant. I think it's important that you have the uncensored tournament edit pro only video, and I think it's
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
that Lulu, Rogue, and Asu have their own video, and then you also do the crisscross. Because if you just do only the crisscrosses, like the benefit wouldn't. I don't see it being like that dramatic or that big. I feel like it's important
No,
to do both sides of the. And again, that's a huge investment for an org to pick up these massive creators and then also get everyone to do it, put in effort, make the content as good as possible. Like you're financially speaking, that is a huge investment. And until EA extends that olive branch, there's just no reason for it to happen in Apex. I feel like a couple orgs have tried and they just overly invest and then they feel they get burned, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Should we continue? And I think we've covered the org things and the content. The next one is, what was the most surprising roster changes in this Rostermania for you? Pick me the top 3 roster changes, each one of you. Let's see. And I mean,
I don't even know how many happened.
there are 20 teams in EMEA, 14 in NA. I think there are many.
I mean, the most surprising one is Funk going to.
Yeah, I was gonna say
EMEA.
there's a right answer here. Yeah,
there's. I don't think there's literally ever been an NA player go over to EMEA. I'm pretty sure this is the first one, right?
Yeah. NA, yes. I think we had 2 SA people before. But like and
but we never had an NA player, and now he's going. So that's surprising.
I mean,
okay. Well, I don't
that,
think. Well, Funk has many reasons of him going to EU. Obviously, he said publicly that he wants to like move to EU, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think it's about like the skill. Oh, this is the. I don't think we could create a narrative here and be like, oh, finally an NA player goes to EU, and it's like, I don't know if the case is like that context. I think there's a lot of factors going into it that weighed Funk's decision, and I'm happy for Funk. I think it's really cool. I think there is a right and wrong answer. I do think the most surprising roster change is the Funk thing because it is NA to EU at the end of the day. I will say, Dropped in them got 8th, and while they didn't get along great behind the scenes or like on stream, you'd hear them argue or Sykes raise his voice, et cetera. I didn't think they'd make a change. I thought 8th was good enough for them to be like, all right, let's see if we can work at this, right? I was surprised about that. Second I saw Sykes go, I thought it was a pretty obvious move that Sykes would go to NRG, especially with them being roommates, so that didn't surprise me too much. I'm trying to think anything. Oh, wait, the other thing that was super surprising was Raven to 9 lives. I saw that on the Reddit this morning. That's crazy.
That entire Nick roster imploding was like, wow.
That roster imploding is a little bit weird. I mean,
is Gnaske washed, or is this guy like just like getting unlucky? What is going on? I don't watch any Apex other than NA.
I think
is he Thanos just getting unlucky?
I can say what I see, what I already checked from EMEA. I think that guy made the wrong decisions in who to play and how the team should be in the roster. And I think he did another wrong decisions of who to work with as a coach. He never had the one coach for a long time. After Don, he swapped 2 coaches as well. Which, like, I don't know. I think it's a wrong decisions what he's doing. And when you get like multiple different people, you're working in different styles and you get influenced here and there and you feel under a little bit of bad starts and then get pressure swapping your players. I think the whole decision of who to play with and who to team with and who's the coaches were the reason for him ending up like this. But to the full team to be splitting and to lose everything, that wasn't my bingo card. Not at all. That wasn't at all. I didn't expect it.
I thought that after LAM they would just pick up Kyner and they would probably call to EWC.
100%. I expected this one to happen. What I did not, I think, liked. I know that he might have a decisions pace of it. Him or whatever is Zayn dropping Zayn. Player like Zayn cannot get dropped, even whatever. Like the same as you tell me now, Alliance is dropping Effect. Yes, Effect counter calls. Yes, Effect does his own calls. But you can't drop player like this, number one. That's in my opinion. If I was his coach, I will tell him shut the fuck up and play. Because a player like Zayn cannot get dropped. You need to...
I don't know.
I think if you... with all respect and love to Amphi, he is not filling the spot of support. Then you need to change Amphi and bring support player. If you change Zayn and you still put Amphi on support So what did you achieve? You are letting the same player that's suffering from support keep suffering for longer time. So why are you keeping it? Why are you even hurting that player of making him support? I think it's again a bad decision. Bad decision. Whoever coached him, whoever even did not tell him you are doing mistake here, and himself as well. I think these were the mistakes. That's my opinion on it because I saw it.
I feel like as an IGL, if you get the opportunity, man, I might be on my knees on this take. So just fly at me if you think it's stupid. But as an IGL, you only get the opportunity a couple times in your career, some majority only one time, to like really prove yourself with like a higher level player. And I think Zayn is an extremely good player in EU. Like he is crazy. So
He's an
Gnaske,
NA.
yeah,
He's
when
an NA.
Gnaske got the opportunity to play with Zayn, I felt like that was a really big opportunity for him to have a second breakout where he's just Thanos, top of EU again. And I have no idea what happened. It could have had nothing to do with Gnaske. But again, looking outside in, people will always blame the IGL, even if Zayn was throwing every single game, right?
Yeah.
It's hard because it's like, it may have gotten to the point where Zayn, because I saw someone in chat say that Zayn just wouldn't listen to Gnaske. And it may have gotten to the point where Zayn lost faith in the calls, or Zayn saw the game a different way and they couldn't agree on one. And it's just really disappointing because, I mean, I thought that they were going to be like an incredible team. When that roster first got formed with Raven, the whole 9 yards, I was like, there's literally no way they aren't top 3.
I agree.
I would have kept Zayn. I would have even to help Amphi, I would have released Amphi. So Amphi goes somewhere where he can frags and can show himself what he was at the beginning when he was really fragging. Then would have brought support player in.
Yeah, but that was my point in saying that, was like it may have gotten to the point where Zayn was like counter calling or not listening to Gnaske. It may have gotten to the point where like your star player loses faith in your IGL.
As well.
I don't watch it enough, and you definitely do watch it, and then you literally work in the EU, so you guys would have a better opinion than me. But I don't know. It seemed like a really tricky environment. It didn't seem like there was like one thing that was going to fix it. Like Amphi out, God tier support player in. I don't know if that changed anything, to be honest.
The issue is, I don't want.
I don't know.
I might. Okay, I'm not gonna speak too much because I don't want to get in trouble. But what I think happened on the
Now we're talking.
What I think happened. I don't know what the issues were, so I can't speak to that. I don't know if they made a good or bad decision. I can't speak to that. What I can say is that looking at okay, we want to replace a player in EU as a top team. You look around and you go,
Ooh.
the good ones are taken already.
Ooh.
Who are you taking?
Yeah.
You either go the tech way, where he got funking Sanyu, and you go, oh my god, and you're a genius, because he is a genius scout. Nothing to say about that. He's the best scout there ever is, there ever was. Or I don't know, like.
Okay, everything you just said is correct, except for the part where you have to talk about orgs and money. Players in every region chase money and fame because Apex, you might only have 3 months on an org. And NIP is one of the few orgs that had a massive budget in EU. I know that you know that. I know that. I think that's pretty commonly known. And if it isn't, well, it's out there now. NIP had an NA style budget. They had a massive budget. So I agree with you to an extent, because I think they could have found a budget to, snag an incredible NA player that wanted to just live in Europe for a couple years and have fun. And they could have guaranteed a insane salary, because a lot of these top NA rollers, disrespect, but if they went to EU, they would succeed.
Yeah, I mean, Funk by showing up is a top 5 rollers just by moving here, and the first day and we played together, he got ratted I think 3 times, and found out how EU plays. Like he's gonna around this region in no time. I'm sure of that.
He's gonna go crazy.
This region
man.
sucks.
Just question: do we know that for sure? It was like Zayn got dropped as opposed to Zayn wanting to leave?
I think,
like Zach said, it could have possibly just been like Zayn tuning them out.
I think Zayn got dropped. I think Zayn got dropped.
No clue.
They got 29th and then 32nd when they played before the Open. So I don't know. I didn't watch them enough to know like what the true issues were and like why they broke up when it came to that.
Zayn got
when
dropped.
you see those results.
This is what Senatic already telling you. Zayn got dropped because Senatic is teaming with Zayn. Zayn got dropped, which
How do you
It's-
drop Zane in EU?
you can't.
Though? How do you do that?
There are three
How do you
players.
compete in EU and you drop Zane?
I know that Liuq will disagree with me because his teammates are rollers too, but I think Zane is top 3 with Unlucky and Effect, and that's it. Anemia. I think he's number 3. He has been before since ages, and he's still until now he's top 3. He now he will hear this and he will develop even bigger ego than he has. Zane, shut the f up and just shoot nukes in the next PL days because you are letting me down. But he is top 3.
Okay.
He's top 3.
If we're talking mechanics only,
Yeah.
well, no, Funk just moved here, so I don't know. But he's definitely top 5.
Funk is
There
really-
is an aspect of Zane's gameplay specifically that for me doesn't make him top 3. He's still top 5. Still top 5. Hey,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but there is an aspect that I know that is a weakness that every time we meet them, we punish them for it. Every
Yeah.
single time.
Dude,
Yes.
the whole argument of
But,
top
like-
3, top 5, top 10 is just stupid. They're all really good and they have on
Yeah, they're
days and off
insane.
days. And you catch Zane on an on day, he's going to 1v3 your team. You catch Zane on an off day, he's going to throw the fight. We're all
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
He's one of the best,
Fair
and
enough.
that's all that matters.
True. So now, if you have any information, just don't drop it. But one thing, where is each one gonna land? People asking where will Monsoon land? Where do we think Monsoon will be landing? In which team?
I mean, he was trialing with ROC.
He tweeted a contract gift last night, guys.
Yeah.
He had a contract.
Really, we can put this one together. We can put this one together, guys.
Trialed with him, then he tweets that gif. Where do we think he's gonna go?
Okay, he's going to somewhere like
Spartans.
it's called Rock Chat.
Yeah.
Zero
It's-
dropped. Monsoon.
Oh,
going
No, it's
Yeah.
no. We don't.
to-
So it's Monsoon to Rock Chat. That means you got your answers. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. And where is
Monsoon
Sauce?
is the new analyst. Is the new analyst for Falcons.
Where is Sauce will go then? Where will Sauce go?
I think
there was a
Sauce
team-
might get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he getting screwed over? Or who was
Yeah.
he scrimming with?
He scrimmed with them, no?
He
Yeah.
did scrim with them, but then Monsoon posted that gif, and I don't think Monsoon's scrimmed with anybody else, if I'm not
No.
mistaken.
And
But-
who else
but
has
they-
an org
But they
Yeah.
that
won.
Monsoon could have just gotten blindly signed to like that?
Right.
Wait, didn't they get even good with Sauce into the scrim Or am I wrong? I think
Yeah, they did go with Sauce. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I
Or
think.
wait, who did Sauce play with? Sauce played with 2 different teams. He played with them, but he played with someone else.
No, he played with them yesterday twice. So one of them was very horrible, which is 13th, and one of them is 5th. And they played again one more, I think, another time, and he won with them, no? Or got third place. So Sauce played with them 4 different blocks. 2 of them are bad, 2 of them are 3rd and 5th. And I don't know.
1 second. Let me see. I mean, I was trying to find that graphic. They showed all the roster moves because I haven't been home. So
I have it. It's
Can you
on
put it in the
Travis'
Discord?
Discord. Yeah.
or
Which
can
one?
you just DM it to me? Either I don't get it either.
I put it there. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Good.
Yeah. Okay.
This was
Thank
the
you.
privacy one.
I can open it for everyone as well, for the chat as
Okay.
well.
I think design's done.
Yeah.
Just to answer that one.
Here.
There's Dig Vibes, which was he was playing with Vlorzy and Legatron.
Yeah,
I
with
think.
the Unleash, yeah.
Vlorzy and Legatron are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Vlorzy's pretty good. We TDM them and
Yeah.
he's decent. It looks like Trev is going back to CC, which is sad because I really like that guy.
Yeah,
But
me
it's
too.
starting to feel like Sauce isn't finding a spot.
I don't think
Yeah.
he will.
It
don't
just
th-
occurred to me because you mentioned CC. You were asking privacy the top 3 insane changes. Ojra into CC.
Oh, that one is crazy.
That's a crazy. Because I
It's
talked
crazy
to
from the simple fact that he's going to CC and doesn't
Yeah.
have like a guaranteed spot for EWC or champs or anything.
He can't call. Like,
Yeah.
I have talked to I'm not gonna say more, but I have talked to OJ. I told him I have something for you. Would you be interested? I'm not gonna speak much because I don't want to be leaking to you guys or to the chat. I told him I have something for you. Would you be interested? And the spot is a PL. The spot is most probably making and the spot is paid. And I was like, no, I want to stay with my team. I want to play CC with Task and Prestes. I believe in those 2 people. I was like, okay,
I mean,
you crazy?
I don't blame him for believing in the team. The CC part is what shocks me.
Look, you
But I
don't,
don't blame him for believing in the team.
you don't understand. Look, the chance I gave him. You just cannot understand it. I gave him a really good chance. And he's still saying no. He's crazy. He just crazy.
From the little that I know about Ojorin, he probably has a good reason, but yeah.
What if Monsoon left NA?
Monsoon?
And
No,
what?
I like if they stayed in the EU and built the team around him or something. But
There is no one in EU
bro,
to get. There's no spot for him in EU.
Bro, it has to be.
No, there is spots, but like not good ones.
It has to be. It has to be Sauce getting screwed. I'm reading chat. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at your graphic. Like, what are the odds of Monsoon doing all those scrims with only one? I didn't see Monsoon try out with anyone else.
I haven't
other
seen
than
him
them.
playing with anyone. No.
And then he just coincidentally tweets a contract gift, and then Sauce doesn't.
Then
Right?
wait a little bit.
And then
Yeah.
I want to point this out. Coincidentally, after Monsoon is like posting all this stuff and like trialing with them, you see the complexity roster full disband on Battlefy. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me, it seems pretty obvious, but I don't. You're right. They had way better placements with Sauce, so
Ooh,
I don't fucking know.
Dropped this saying Monsoon and Zachmazer reunion.
No.
Is
I
it
don't know.
happening? Is it happening? And now Zach is playing us.
No.
Oh no.
No.
Maybe Monsoon. No, scratch. I was gonna say Monsoon brought an org, but there's already one. So
Wait. The question is it? What is the system right now in NPL? I'm pretty dumb with the sub. Are you allowed to play with the sub?
Yeah.
So can the sub goes into between games?
Wait. Maybe I misunderstood what you said.
The subs now, if a roster has a four people with one sub,
4 players.
yeah, 4 players with one
I
sub.
don't know.
Can he play in between games? Swap
Like,
games?
did you swap mid?
No, mid tournaments, but not mid game, definitely.
like the
No,
game
I
1
don't
to
think
3,
so.
you play with one. Yeah, I
I don't think so.
Like this
Yeah.
player's better on E district.
Imagine exactly. VP is
our
getting
E district specialist with his charge rifle.
exactly.
How
VP is
fucking
getting Monsoon for
with that.
sniper for shooting sniper
Yeah.
over Zach.
Yo, bro. I think we're gonna get a sniper arsenal this game. Let's sub him in. Like, yeah, this is fucking stupid, bro. Like, what a fucking waste of time that would be.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, bro. It's really shitty because I don't know. I feel like Sauce is like one of the up and comers of it. I feel like Sauce and Blinks I feel like are fucking insane. I feel like Sauce and Blinks are really, really, really good, and they're only gonna get better over the next year and a half.
Yes.
And it's sad to see Sauce in the situation he is. I saw a
I
clip
think-
of Sauce on house stream say something like, Naughty had like 3 bad lands last year and I didn't drop him, but I got dropped after my first bad one this year. And I was like, damn, like seems like Sauce is kind of going into a villain arc here where
The problem
we'll
with
see
the
how it
Sauce-
all plays out. But I hope he gets a good team, and
I
I
hope
hope he
so.
really proves everyone wrong because I believe in that kid.
He's a very good person too. He's a very good human. If you look at him,
Yeah.
he's a very good human. That's the sad part. Like some people, okay, I don't know what's internally they have, but if it's true that Naughty had the 3 bad lands, I didn't even look at their numbers, and then he didn't drop him, and he could drop him, then he got dropped after 1 bad land. I feel bad. I really feel bad myself. I would be feeling bad for this. But it is what it is. I do not. So now I have a number of list of teams, the players. Let's see if we have everything clear in our mind. ROC. Okay, it's 100% either Sauce or Monsoon. There is no doubt on that. Rock.
Yeah.
Orchid. Who are they going with? Who do we think? Bambino.
They've been playing with who did they play with yesterday? I was just watching the scrims a couple hours ago. Oh
Let
my
me-
god, that's gonna
They
torture
played
me.
with
Let me.
Dark Knight.
Your graphic says Kuzir.
No,
My
but Kuzer
graphics not
Kuzer played with Flat again yesterday. I think it was
he went back
Cersei.
to
Okay.
Flat.
Yeah,
Or wait, was Cersei playing with? No,
Cersei.
Panic
That
was playing with
Panic.
TSM.
it's Dark Knight. It's
And then
Dark Knight.
Cersei was playing with Orc, I think.
It's
And I
Dark
think
Knight.
Those will stay, right? I think those will stay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Dark
yesterday was
Knight.
Dark.
Yeah,
They
Dark
played
is
with.
yesterday too. So Orchid is going. I thought like it's Orchid gonna go with Cersei. I thought it's actually a very straightforward change. I had them.
Yeah,
Because he's the same exact. Both of them, Panic and Cersei, they are super similar how they play.
Yep.
One of them, let's
I
say,
agree.
shoots better than the other, but like super similar how they play. Okay, so we have it. Envy is already cleared. LG is already cleared. 9 Lies already cleared on Paddlefy or whatever it's LGS. It's a Kurev. NRG is Sykes changed till Liquid is done. TSM is with Panic. I think it's already clear, right? Like it's almost official. They scrimmed with him like six different scrims.
They
I
just need
think.
the Battlefy part.
Yeah, they're just waiting for the battle. Fusion. Where do we think who they are getting?
Kim
I think they trialed with Kim or with the Dig Vibes. They tried with both of them.
They got first and fifth with Kim. They're picking up Kim.
Yeah, and third, I think, and third.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
he
with
and
Dig,
he
I
had
don't think they did as good.
and he had top 3 stats. Like he is actually Kim is.
Kim had top 3 stats, first and fifth.
I'm not kidding. Kim
Kim was
had
right.
in
Monsoon
all
holding
scrim
Kim back? What the f is
in
going
all
on?
in all scrims. He had an extreme huge numbers in all scrims he played. I was surprised. I mean, not surprised, but I know that Kim has a really good aim. He has an in-game kind of, let's say, mistakes.
No, he's got in-game issues, bro.
Yes,
If you've
yes.
seen that fucker R5,
Yes,
bro,
his,
he might be, bro. No, Kim is
aim
Kim is
is
good mechanically. Something goes fucking haywire the second the battle royale loads up. But if he could find a way to straighten that out, dude, that would be a fucking sight to see. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I said like his aim is insane. His he has like in-game stuff. True, agree. Unleash is back. Stay together. Maybe you think, or they is Dig Vibes going back to Unleash as he was?
I think so.
I don't know the half of the teams that you're mentioning.
Unleash is
I
Dig
assume
Vibes.
so because they posted they were like tentative LF1 because he was trialing. So I'm assuming that means if he doesn't get that opportunity, he just goes back and.
I love those people. Then I really like those two. Then allowing their teammates to find a bigger chance if it's possible, and then they just like don't get mad like kids and annoyed of him.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking going to try out with the different teams? We drop you, we'll get another one immediately. Like many of the people would be immediately getting annoyed of that.
Yeah.
Why are you going to trial out with someone else?
Which
team do you guys think-
Sorry.
Which team do you guys think made the biggest like positive change, and which team do you think made the biggest negative change?
Positive change.
Who got the biggest dub out of all of Rostermania? And we can't pick GG because GG is the answer.
Okay. And then let's say stay in.
I love
The thing is-
Kurev, but I think Liquid picking Yanya back up is just
That's
such
what I
an
was gonna
easy
say.
W. It's just such
That's
an
what I
easy
was gonna
W.
say.
Like we've seen that team place top 5
Well-
on LAN before. Like
Yeah.
Here's my take just to spark some conversation because this is what
Yeah.
I do.
do it.
We just saw this with Guild and Nocturnal and Fun. And when you think about that, those guys were Thanos back in the day.
True.
And they had their reunion and things just weren't the same. So I mean, you have to wonder when Yanya comes back, like Nizel, Jaguar, it's the whole 9 yards. Like, is it the same Liquid that we know and love, right? And to be honest with you, I to be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna be that same dominant Liquid that we saw or remember.
It's a different
I don't know
era
about
as
the
well.
dominant look. Don't know about the dominant look because now there's way more structured teams. Like way more teams have a good structure, but I do think that they're gonna be very good. They're probably gonna be better because of the bond they share.
I think it's different era. There is the Legends ban thing. I think Liquid might suffer from it the most.
Oh
Liquid,
yeah, true.
Liquid never. The players of Liquid never been flexible on their Legends. They were like 3 players that they shoot their guns really nicely, and they run at the edge and try to fight everyone. I don't think they adapt well to the Legends ban. I think many of the changes will be positive at the end for the teams. I think it's insane, but I think Skittle back into drops and he is able to play crypto, which is actually the team needed someone to play crypto. Might be, especially, they did not. I don't think, as I said, I don't think Skittle is better than Sykes as a player because Sykes is one of the best, especially because Roller too.
Definitely not.
But Skittle is able to fill the things that they needed. And Skittle is smart. Skittle is able to, he played with a drop, he has a synergy. I think that's a positive change for the team. And TSM picking up Panic might be actually the dub for them too, because they had a Skittle into crypto there where they don't have a 2-player that they shoot their gun extremely hot. But now putting Dupe on a crypto and having Panic plus Gent might be the positive change as well that will make them do good.
I think that could, like, as far as like potential goes, I think that's probably the biggest one. TSM picking up Panic, it has crazy potential for that triple roller squad. I think Skittle brings a lot of like impact value in fights. Skittle finds a way to do damage. He's super, super, super valuable. I don't think it's fair to compare Skittle and Sykes. I think Sykes will just always do more.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Envy takes like a large blow at all when it comes to picking up Skittle over Sykes and their ability to team fight. I think they'll be a very strong team. So
I actually think they do better. Not.
I think they'll be more organized.
I think. Yeah. And another thing, I saw it in the chat in Navi.
Yeah, that
Navi
surprised
is,
me.
Yeah, that will come back to it when I come to EMEA. I was like holding to EMEA a little bit. So that's actually from NA we spoke about the potential. I think I'm happy for Nocturnal see him back. Nocturnal shouldn't be leaving the game, and I'm happy that he's back to the game and playing it. He's already with the good team. And Rock, I guess the biggest winner because they needed an IGL. After reps left, they just couldn't find a single one that can play with them. They played with a Snipe down. Snipe does not fill this role. And Vex going to IGLing is a big mistake in my opinion because he needs a lot of time to learn it. And he's not going to learn it now. And they would have been in a horrible situation in PL, which they are right now.
I have a question. I thought LG was a good team, to be honest. I thought they were good. I didn't think they were like, these guys are going to win every lane, but I thought they were good.
Agree.
We TDM'd them a lot. And my experience, Sauce was like 90% of their aggression. Sauce was like their entry fragger, their opener. Like Sauce was that guy on that team. And losing that player, losing that role on your team, do you guys think that Nocturnal can fill those shoes? Or do you think that Naughty or Sauce or Shuby have to step up? And if they try to step up, is one of them just inting FaZe? Like if Shub steps up to that role or Naughty steps up to that role, are they just going to be inting and look like shit? Or if Nocturnal tries to fill that role, is he even capable of it? Because I don't think that's an opinion. I think it's fact that like Sauce was their front line and Sauce was their engage. Yeah. And losing that for any team in the world is a huge blow. So I'm really skeptical about how LG is going to perform losing like their entry. Because like 3 slow players doesn't work. Someone has to make a play from time to time.
Naughty has to. It's not Shoop. You don't need to be losing your Shoop, how he plays. How Shoop is playing right now is actually an insane way of playing. Keep him how he is.
Shoop is crazy.
Don't change him. If you change him, you're losing a lot of value of your team. I think it's a Naughty, the one that he has to be doing it.
Shuby is oh my god,
okay.
Shuby is an insane player. I just want to see him succeed so much.
He's been playing so well.
Yeah.
We go to EMEA. We have a lot of changes. Most of you would not be, except Liuq, will not be knowing everything in EMEA because you don't follow everything, but we do. But the biggest one, the biggest one out of GG getting Funk in and GG dropping Lovka is Navi. Navi dropping Zidane. What do we think about this?
It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. I know you didn't do great at the Open, but you're literally first in Pro League. You're going to easily go to EWC. You already won together. Why would you drop him? Truly, I do not understand why you would ever drop him. You can't afford one bad LAN, and when you're first in Pro League and you just try to work through whatever your issues are, there's no way whatever issues they had were that big that they had to drop him.
Isn't that the same guy that everyone thought was cheating like a year ago or something like that?
And I was the one that's saying he's not cheating. I was like in my stream when somebody was telling, we were in a podcast, somebody brought it in, was Gnaske there in the podcast and Hal and everyone, and they brought it in and they said the guy is not cheating. That because I knew him, Zidane.
It'd be really interesting to get like inside perspective on that because it had to be something internal, like someone punched someone in the face. Because Alliance is the only team that's ever won like from EU, right? Like I'm not forgetting something, and like they won champs. Now, granted, pretty sure they won champs when they were in like 8th place. It's not like they were dominating champs and then popped off.
No, definitely.
But they still won champs. You can't take that from them. And who cares about the Open? They literally got extra points out of a Pro League day. They won so many games. They got extra points. That's only happened a handful of times ever, right? So to make a change, it feels really justice for Noct right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, it feels. I think what I understood, which I do not know if it's true. I just didn't even hear it from players, the player's mouth, but I heard it from the fans of the players. That there was a kind of a problem in personality between Zidane and them. I'm not gonna say between Zidane and Jhawk or Zidane and Shako because it's a clear. They are two friends and there is a Zidane as the third one coming. But it felt like there was a problem of personality. He was sometimes angry when they do bad or whatever. That's what I understood. I'm not sure about it. I didn't hear it from them. Like they are angry and whatever, and they didn't like it.
There was a scrim block. I tried to find it for the video that I made about them, but I couldn't. There was a scrim block for champ scrims where Zidane just quit mid scrims, and his teammates were like, "We don't know what's going on." So obviously, it didn't really end up mattering for champs. But I don't know if there's more issues like that people just aren't aware of behind the scenes that are happening, and maybe that's what led to it. But who knows?
I know Zidane very well. I can speak about Zidane myself because Zidane, when he was before with LCDF, when he was even contesting Sweeney in Skywest, and there was the issues here and there, when people were saying he's cheating, I helped him in some VOD reviews, him and his team, him and Kainer, because I like them as a people. And I told him multiple times, he has the issue of an anger. He needs to get rid of that. He needs to get rid of his anger and be a little bit of rational inside of him. He needs to keep shooting. I advised him to stop IGLing because if he goes to IGL, he's losing his potential of being one of the best shooters in EMEA, and he can have a really huge potential. And then he listened and he left his team and he went there and he went with a new team that he doesn't need to IGL, but with an IGL. And then with Navi, and then he did really good. I think the guy has a little bit of problems with the anger, but I don't think it's a reason to drop someone.
Especially in EU, like you were saying earlier, like it's not like there's a lot of players you can really trade.
Yes.
I mean, Slab is still an amazing player, so it's not like, oh, they killed their own team. But they did dismantle the champs. Roster.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I get him proven wrong. But I don't think Slab can fill the shoes that Zidane left. Slab is not a fragger. Slab is not a fragger.
If they ask him to do what Zidane was doing, he just
won't do it. Slab is a good roller, but you need to put him in his role, and I don't think he is doing what Zidane was doing.
Only thing that I really don't like about it is there was like a huge narrative going around after champs that like Navi fluke win will never happen. They suck. This and that. Right? We all saw all that drama, and like you can't take it away from them that they won champs, but stuff like this definitely drives the other people correct. You know, like they literally won champs, did pour it open, instantly dropped a player. Like that's not much defense on like you guys are a top tier team when they had all this going for them in Pro League. They definitely that's definitely a situation where they should have stuck it out and tried to see what they could accomplish at midseason, EWC, whatever is going on.
Yeah. I don't think they were. No, go on.
I was just going to say, the part that confuses me is if the problem was like anger or whatever, it had to only happen at the Open because they were doing so good in Pro League. There's no way that during those days that's when the problem happened. They literally dropped like 100 points.
Yeah, it had to be like an explosion so large that they had no choice but to like. But even then, it's like what?
But that's what I'm saying. Unless
what
he like
could have happened that we don't know about it. Like the public not knowing is whatever. But like, how the have I not heard through the grapevine that Zidane punched Uchaco in his face, right? Like,
so if
like, there's literally, I know nothing about it. I've heard no rumors, no nothing, and then out of nowhere he's dropped. It's like something had to have happened. These guys are insane. They just won champs.
I just feel like that with EWC this close, with how good you're doing in Pro League, I would have, whatever the issue is, unless it's something like that actually crosses the line, I would have tried to just work on it. And then if it still is happening and we bomb out at EWC, then we make the change. I know like maybe that's a stupid idea because maybe they feel like, you do bad at EWC, you're wasting an opportunity, whatever. But it really just feels like, I mean, you won together, you're first in Pro League. What could have happened at the Open that was so bad that it's like, no, we can't run this back.
It could also be coming from an org side. Because Navi is
I guess.
very serious org.
Are they like hands-on with their teams?
That I don't know. No idea on that. But if they did see, oh yeah, you guys sucked, change.
So I would love to see that fight, not gonna lie.
Don't think so.
I wouldn't.
I feel like though, I mean, didn't Navi when they had Matafe, weren't they kind of like, it didn't feel like they were very hands-on with that team. Am I wrong?
I have no idea.
They couldn't even make finals, bro. If they were hands-on, they would be making changes all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they got dropped instantly after though. No?
True.
Oh no, they were.
Wait, they were there for a while, bro.
No,
Didn't
you're
they
right.
play Lands?
They played the LA.
Anyway,
you're right.
it is what it is. Next thing, what do you think about the Aurora I mean, we don't know about the Aurora, but what's happened? What happened with Aurora all these times? We haven't seen Aurora being themselves in a while. Is it an hard decky change? Is no hard decky really that hard?
They play high risk. They play high risk, high reward.
I don't think it's
versus one or the other.
because they did really good at EWC without him.
True.
Super high risk.
Yeah, they're always cooking like crazy, you know. So we literally saw what was it at Champs where they're like all three of them are just on different parts of the map, you know.
Oh my days.
So
Oh
you know
my God.
they're just doing weird stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know.
They remind me of that Furia roster, the original Furia roster with like Watson in them, where they did really well. But they were just like a step ahead of everyone else with the meta. It seems like Aurora is like constantly trying to find like their edge in a different style of the game versus just trying to like be the best at the current meta. And sometimes they are a step ahead, and sometimes they look like goofballs.
I think last two times, as Hal is writing in the chat, I think last two lands or stuff, I think they did the bad decisions of playing their characters. Yes, they want to play on the edge. Their play style, what I always call it, it's a fake edge. What actually GG played after I don't know if you played after Aurora or before them. I cannot tell. But Aurora started it when the Evo Cash. So that's what GG plays. It's a fake edge. Get your all Evo up and so on. Yeah, I call it fake edge because people understand edge as a word of I need to be fighting every single thing moving, even if there is I don't know, anything moving and when I fight it, like a prowler, I'm gonna fight. So that's what edge plays. Fake edge is playing smart, get your Evo up, knows how people rotate, get some spots where you know that you can fly into that or move into that, rotate into that, stabilize, have an advantage of a loot versus against teams that they are in the zone around you with a less loot, and then start a fight on them. You out heal them, you out loot them, you all attach them, everything else in it, and then you fight them and you take your games. That's what Aurora was playing. It was successful for a certain point. They thought they must play Mirage to get it because Mirage was of a legend. Give them support pins, assault pins, everything pins, UAV, console, blah blah blah, everything. But it doesn't work in the support meta. The support meta was in a clear stall meta. You need to get a third legend to stall it even more. Rampart or Cat. You need to stall it more. That's what you need to do. You have a Gibby and Castle, and you need even to steal more because that's what people are utilize you. And this is what I think their mistake.
I think the removal of red armor really hurt Aurora. Like just being the first team to red armor just every game with the playstyle that they would do early game of that high risk, like literally 3 people 1,500 meters apart from each other. They don't even care if they die. They'll just res at a replicator and have triple red, right? The removal of red armor, I think, really hurt them because they would find red way before anyone else, and they would go take advantage of that like instantly. They would be finding like blue armor teams on red, and it was just insane.
Yeah. Okay. Going from Aurora into another team. Gnaske now is trialing with Ronin. Ronin is, I think, 8th in Pro League. Ronin is MG Clutch plus Hoodie. Their third left the team. I think it just like stepped down from the team, and then he went in as a support. Do we think, and do we have any expectations on that team? Do you think IGLing on the edge with having Gnaske as support and Hoodie as a second controller for him gonna work? What do you expect?
I'm sorry. I should laugh. Did you just say MG Clutch is IGLing Gnaske and Naske's playing support?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Okay. I'm sorry. I should have laughed, but
okay. The thing is, it's first of all MG's team. So he is joining the MG as a team. I think it's a fair if MG says, I have already done good with Jay Hanzo. I already got second in one of the Pro League days. I don't know what he got in the second Pro League day as well, like maybe 10th or whatever. And then I want to keep IGLing. I know how to IGL on the edge, and I want to keep it. If you want to join me, that's it.
I'm sorry, but being good in EU and stuff like that is so much more just about understanding team fighting than just being like Thanos of macro and this and that. I think if you understand team fighting, you're capable of getting second in Pro League day, and I don't think that's too far fetched for any team that's good at team fighting to achieve. They were like triple roller, right? Him, Hoodie, and Jay.
Yeah.
And they were just probably on kids that day, found a good groove, and I don't know if Gnaste's going to be able to fill those same shoes because I obviously didn't watch, but I'd bet you a lot of money if I went and watched that VOD, their points placement wise versus kill points were very lopsided. And I don't know if Gnaste's going to join that roster and just be like, yeah, let's fight. Even if he's co-IGLing or on a support role, I feel like there's going to be a lot of input of like, probably could have played a little bit smarter and played on this side of the map where like sometimes, the right play is just the dumbest thing you could do.
I mean, and I think they did. I think they did okay. The first day they had like 24 placement points in 6 games. They didn't do bad.
I
They
mean,
had 50
okay,
KP,
okay.
and there's no way
They had
that's
a
true.
58 points in a 34 KP.
That first day, oh my days, the Cascade game. Oh my god.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
watch the
I
DGS
saw
for
that. I saw that. Yeah.
Like, for sure. I mean, I'm capable of getting placement
I know that
points like
EMEA.
that.
I know that EMEA specifically right now has a super weird results and scores and stuff.
Because
and plays.
I know you didn't watch this, Zach. I know you don't know this. So imagine Cascade Balls Zone. You are the team that is holding the Jurassic Gate, the Jurassic Broken Gate. You leave it to wrap all the way around from Cito side.
That's bad, man.
Like in zone.
Who was
and
that?
Was
just
Ronin?
walked up to gate.
That was Ronin?
No, Ronin walked up to the gate for free.
Well, who left? Oh, someone just left the gate because they're just
someone just left the gate and they got the gate for free. So
Okay.
This is not to say, they suck and this and that, but
yeah,
I think they did good.
just placement points. Like,
I think they did good. I feel, and I think it is, I think Gnaske gonna make the team better. This team gonna be better with Gnaske.
I think it's going to make the team smarter, but I don't know if that's going to make the team have better placements. I think it's
Smarter.
I think it could be I don't know. You can play as smart as you want in EU, and sometimes you just have Beavis and Butthead running at you, and you get thirded, right? So
there are not a lot of good teams.
If EXO decides that you die today, you die today. Period. Whether they kill you or the 3P kills you.
I don't think there is enough teams in EMEA that can shoot back. I think they will be 3v3ing a lot of teams and just having a free games. EMEA right now in a very sad state. Good.
They had a lot of placement points.
Yeah, they had.
They had a bunch.
I told you, you have 24 placement points. 24 in 6
and
games.
Then they got a 14.
And then the other day was bad, yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. I think I can't really speak on Gnaske without him being in the call, Me and him go way back. We have lore. So anything I say is going to be taken out of context like I'm throwing shade at him when that's totally not the case. I'm just trying to be honest.
We were waiting for this. We had a lot of questions for that, but unlucky he had the scrims that he's playing right now, so it doesn't work.
I wish Gnaske had GL, Loki, because this is not to say
I do too.
anything on MG Clutch. It's just that I want to see him succeed as an IGL.
Okay.
Do you think though at some point that they make a swap?
I think it's inevitably happening.
Because how many teams have picked up an IGL like this and then that person never at any point counter calls or tries to IGL in the game?
Hal is the only example that I can think of that made the swap successfully.
Excuse me, Hal is playing with Zero. Gnaske is playing with MG. MG is the first year of IGLing. First year of IGLing. I'm not joking. MG. It's his first year of IGLing versus an IGL. Hal has a respect to Zero because both of them are IGL since game started, since whatever happened in the life. So unsuccessful. So yeah, there's difference. Yeah. First of all, FaZe. What's happening with FaZe? With Tyler and Zane, and now they dropped Tyler. They got Nags. What is happening with FaZe, and do we think FaZe gonna get better with Nags and Zane?
Yeah, I think they'll get better simply because Nags can fill the role that FaZe is asking to be filled better than Tyler. This is not me saying Nags is better than Tyler or Tyler is better than Nags. It's just a better fit, and Tyler is a good fit in EXO now. And
I think Nags. I think Nags talks and loud and what actually Senatic needs. Someone to tell him, Senatic, you're doing wrong here. We need to do that. Keep him on check. Not like to counter call, but to keep him on check when Senatic needs a question, when we need someone a second opinion.
I have a question about Tyler, because again, I'm not really informed on EU. Why is he not like a hot commodity. Hasn't he like just every time he's like subbed for a team or like showed up on a team, hasn't he always done his part, like either over
Man,
succeeding or at least like
He's very
like,
good.
I've
he
only
had-
seen good things about him or like decent enough placements. So
Okay.
I just don't understand how that guy ends up in the
He
situation
was
he's
a
in.
mental terrorist.
Okay.
He was a mental
He's a
terrorist.
mental
He's not a
terrorist.
mental
Yes, he
terrorist.
was.
That's not true.
Emphasis,
That's not true
emphasis on the
mental.
was.
So
Emphasis on
he,
the was.
let
He
me
has
op-
worked on it.
It is good now.
he is insane and he shoots his gun well, but he's not a mental terrorist, but he's always weak mentally. So when something goes wrong, he just leaves or cannot even take it anymore. And
I
that's
know a
the
guy
problem
like that.
in the past. In the past, not anymore.
Yeah,
He's not anymore like this. When he was with a Swinny, he happened like this. When he was with Cash, it happened like this. I think with Matafi, you can excuse him. Sorry, Matafi, again, throwing shades on you. With Matafi, you can excuse him. Getting 40th on LAN multiple times is bad. But
But he's
He's
like,
not anymore.
at the point where he would show up depressed every day, and so that's why he's got a bad rep.
Yeah.
Now he's not like that anymore. Like,
and
he's,
now
he is a great player. Like,
back to Swinny. He's back to Swinny. He's playing with a Swinny right now.
How do
I
you guys
think this
that'll
team
go?
is. I think is a very good team. I think this is a very good team. I like Chaotic and Tyler too, and I think if Tyler is just locked in, it's better than Tyler on being on FaZe on a crypto. Tyler being shooting his gun is way better than being on crypto on FaZe, definitely. So I guess it's going to go really well. Good. Moving from Rostermania into ALGS Open. Okay. And in ALGS Open now, we start with the biggest thing is this is the first time we have a LAN in the middle of a pro league. What is these timings? Why did they do that? And
That
why
was
didn't
fucking stupid, bad, terrible. There's not enough negative words
insanely
you said.
bad.
why?
No, you actually can. It's the worst LAN ever. I'm sorry.
Oh, by far.
Like, and it's insane the work that the staff did, because the staff there, I don't know how they handled it personally, but that many people.
My this is my assumption. The actual why is probably just those are the days they could get the venue. Based on the time between that and EWC, they wanted Pro League done by EWC, and so then they just kind of threw it in
Yeah,
the middle, and they were like,
but-
"It is what it is."
Yeah, but there's
my
a
assumption.
huge can of worms with that, because why the fuck are we going to New Orleans? If we want a North American land, why are we going to a city that's like the fourth highest crime rate, one, and then two, why are we like forcing those dates? Why are we forcing budget? You go to Kentucky for all I'm at. Like there's a million different places I'm
Yeah.
sure you could have rented an arena or a stadium. Like I don't know. It was so frustrating for it to be in the middle. Not only that, but it smelled like, bro. I
Oh
was
my
so glad that we were on main stage or featured stage. Every time I walked past that pit of 3,000 CC players, I'm not saying it was the CC players because there were pro league teams in that motherfucker too. But dude, wasn't there like 500 pro players playing? Bro, the first 2 days, the whole stadium, you like couldn't eat your food. It was disgusting. You'd have to go outside. It was vile. I don't know what was going on.
No.
And then, and the admins are obviously getting frustrated because the admins are working with some players that have been going to LANs. This is their 37th LAN. They've been doing this for 10 years. They know the rules, this and that. And then they're also dealing with, kids that had to have their parents come so they could play at the LAN who've never even been to a gaming event before. And they're dealing with like such crazy different sides of the spectrum. There was the huge layoffs, right? The ALGS layoffs that we're seeing more and more people part ways from ALGS. Like it was fucking terrible. There's never been an event even remotely close to as bad as it was, on top of the fact that it was in the middle of a pro league. Oh, bro, I could rant all day. All right, you guys talk.
Okay.
No, that event.
I hated
all,
that.
all the positive thing that I have to say about the event is that there were 3 player managers that took care of me, and because I was sick during the LAN, I was literally curled up on the floor, dead. And that's the sweet part about the LAN for me, is that they took care of me, and I don't know how they had that much time to dedicate to me, but I'm thankful for them. The rest is ass.
Oh, dude, another good point. What the fuck are we doing with Command Center and Face It? What the fuck is the point in throwing a 560 player LAN where you can't even watch the underdogs? You're literally throwing the event to promote Challenger Circuit and try to create these underdog stories, and you can't even fucking watch anyone. If Nicewig and Most Critical decide to watch one lobby together because SR's in the same lobby as what Nicewig wants to watch, that's where main broadcast just so happens to be. You got to go watch one of the 37 lobbies that we're playing as once.
I had
everything is bro. We can't even get FaceIt to work for 20 teams. Why do we have 160, bro?
You need to see me.
These underdog stories.
I had to watch my team when we weren't in a main stage. It means we didn't have a team's POV. It means we didn't have even a comms. I had to be searching for. Wait, maybe I can find them under either POV 1 or 2 for this kind of a FaceIt, because there are only 3 POVs overall. No comms, bad audio. Game audio is like maybe 10 seconds ahead of the game.
Desync.
And like,
so he shoots the gun, you don't hear it.
I'm sorry. I was watching the things, and then I pulled the big numbers, but those people were all of them. Can you fix the audio? Can you put the audio as players? I'm like, why this audio? Like, guys, I'm sorry. I can't really change it. And I tried to watch my team and I couldn't because it's horrible.
Dude, you know what? It's a fucking waste of money. If they really are caring that much about budget and they want to try new things and they want to do this and do that, stop dipping your fucking feet halfway in the pool. Either go all in or fuck off. Like there's this whole halfway in, halfway out thing where we're going to lay off half of the ALGS staff and then throw the biggest event we've ever had by miles. I can't even tell you the last tournament we've had where all FaceIt POVs and Command Center worked throughout the entire tournament. It didn't struggle.
Get me?
Like, we don't even have our own in line to be even considering a tournament like this, let alone doing a bunch of layoffs and then forcing it. We're like actively doing the thing that could be bad for our esport in hopes that they like hit the lottery and get lucky. And it's just so frustrating because that budget could be used in a way more positive way. Like I think we need to start by fixing FaceIt and Command Center just for online, let alone LANs. And let's just take one step at a time, real slow. Let's not go to 560 BO riddled freaks in the pit of CCs running it down, screaming at admins. There was it was so bad. It was so bad. The venue was like made for 560 people instead of an actual esport tournament. So as many of you guys don't know, the crowd was literally the crowd was in hotel chairs, chat. They were in a straight line of hotel chairs. It wasn't like there were stands or anything. So if you didn't show up early to literally sit in the front row, it was just absolutely the second floor of main stage, you couldn't even see. You could see their logo, and that's how you knew they were there, but you could not see a single player on second stage from the crowd. Like, dude, it was so poor. It was so poor.
Oh, as Hal once said in his stream, it was so cheap. It felt cheap.
It's disappointing.
There's chairs are cheap, like everything is cheap. Like the thing is like no money into that, but I don't think because of the numbers, because of the scale of the things. POV. I said, why don't you get C stream and D stream to get all the POVs? I'm here with a Nocturnal. I was like there to be ready for that. I was doing C stream. I was like, give me Falcon's POV. I'm gonna make it whatever.
But this is the thing, right? It's like if you're gonna throw the LAN, and the whole point of it is like, okay, we're gonna sacrifice lobby quality, all these things, in the hopes that we have these underdog stories that rise to the top. Why would we not make it so that you can actually watch it? Like, I understand, the B stream, they got a lot of hate because they weren't watching like a separate lobby. They watched the mainstream lobby. That's not in their contract, so they don't have to. So people, make contractually sign people to watch party the other lobbies. It's so cheap.
I'm ready.
I would have done it for free. I was there.
Exactly.
Give me a laptop. I'll do it.
Give Jhawk, give Lace, give all these people, give privacy, get a separate camera, and have it follow them around. Dude. Lobby 2, Game 6, fucking CC Team 1, and privacy stands behind them. You record their reaction of these CC kids who have never won a game ever, winning a game at LAN. They're going to celebrate. It's going to be awesome. You can interview a player. It would be a fucking 30-second segment that would be huge for the underdog story if they make the next lobby. And man, if FaceIt and Command Center was working, I guarantee you their like quantity of viewership for that lobby or at least that team would like 5x. Yeah, because people would be so invested to see if they were the real deal. Or if it was like, well, dude, it would have been, there was a way to do it right. And if they did it right and they actually invested, we probably would have been asking it for it to be like almost every single tournament or maybe more often. Like, but it's just the
Imagine.
polar opposite. People are begging that they never do anything similar or close again. It was terrible.
Imagine,
Also,
imagine
like-
EMEA CC team is winning it when I actually watched them already for 3 years, getting them from tier million
Yeah.
into tier 2. Those are like kind of really my kids. All of these, even PL teams right now, PL players, they are were CC before, from Fuda to Henchman to all of these. Imagine those, even the same CCs, winning game, they will just jump from their table and just hug me even. Because they are my kids too. So like, imagine, I even have a lot of them from NA. Get me in with
I mean-
those. I don't get me with the other one.
As I said, like for me, the only positive was the on-site stuff. I think they were amazing, but the rest, like they did their best with what they had, and I think with what they were given, they did an amazing job. But oh
Couldn't
my
agree
god, they
more.
were given the scraps.
True.
Like,
Bro, they were set up to fail.
yeah, no, you cannot do anything with that. Like,
Nothing
what
they could do.
did is insane. It's nothing short of insane what they did. Like,
Okay.
it's they managed to make it work all the time.
Okay. So,
It just frustrates me that so many of like the stories that actually came out of that LAN, you'll never be able to know. Like being there in person when Envy had that like late game, like literally last game clutch up to push them through the next round, and if they don't have that, they lose.
They don't
The
know.
crowd was going crazy over at the pit. Nobody saw
nobody
it.
knows.
And
Nobody
no one ever
knows.
will.
Nobody
And-
will know so many things.
The feature stations. Oh my days.
No
Oh my days.
chairs.
There was no
100 people
chairs.
sitting on the fucking concrete. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
They're featured stages. Why would you?
150 sitting on the concrete. Are we on drugs, guys?
Also,
Just
Oh.
at that point, just make every single Falcons match on the main stage and everyone else. Why do we have 150 people sitting on the concrete?
also on my like little thought, we are in probably the least secure LAN ever. It's the most risky one, and we put fans at this distance from Imperial Hall. Hello?
Yeah, bro.
Like-
Yeah.
I mean, bro, on the pit, I could literally walk up and like touch somebody's back if I wanted to. Like,
Yeah.
that's how close
Yeah.
you can get.
It's
Okay, we might need to move on, bro. We're gonna
Yes.
rip into it
Yeah.
too hard.
So,
we're gonna fucking EA's
I
gonna
wanted
hate
to say-
all of us, and we're
I
never
wanted
gonna
to
get
say
anything
this.
good again.
I want to say this. Now, let's out of this negativity. Let's get to the positive part. What did you like the best about the ALGS Open?
From a
That's-
viewer perspective, when it
Yeah.
comes to like the in-person experience, I
Mhm.
actually thought it was really cool. Like the whole idea of being able to just kind of walk around. There's all these lobbies happening at the same time, and you could just like, okay, this game finished, that game's still going. I'm gonna go walk over there. I think it could have been a little better if there was like you said, a watch party going. So there's like a TV where I could just see the whole lobby, as opposed to having to see only specific. Because the way the pit worked too is you could only walk to like 2 of the sides, and so if they were in the other corner, there's just you can't see them. It is what it
We're
is.
in the middle.
Yeah, or in the middle. Yeah, you can't see any of those teams. But it was just cool being able to go over there because honestly, on the main stage, it felt like nobody cared when they won. Like obviously they do, but like the celebrations weren't anything special. And then you go over to the pit, and people are like screaming their heads off whenever like crazy moments happen.
And I can talk about myself from what I think, because I watched this whole LAN intensively. You played
Yeah.
this LAN, you did not watch it as much. I mean, Jade watched because you didn't play, but you played this LAN, you did not watch it as much. I did. I think as a viewer, if imagine there was like really A stream, B stream, C stream, D stream, whatever E stream, that covering everything, which I try to do. It was amazing to not have any downtime watching this LAN. You were literally going extreme numbers from game to game to game to game, from lobby to lobby to lobby. Insanely nice. I loved it. I would have just wished a clean POVs, clean comms, and not 12 hours of one day of a games. I think this is what I was tiring me personally. I could have still gone with it. I still was doing it. But it was very nice to have this game to game to game to lobby to lobby to lobby, and it's insanely nice. Second, I was really happy seeing those like the underdogs and then teams that no one as well. So celebrating, winning, finding the achievements, having this kind of good things to them. I think this is one of them. For me, it was positive. Now let's go to you. So I just wanted to speak about my experience for this. Look, positive.
I mean, I've said it like 4 times.
Mhm.
Once again,
Mhm.
the on-site stuff. I don't know. They were amazing. Like
It's hard because you were sick.
yeah. I also had to endure 18 hours. Well, not any 18 hours. Like 18 games twice. almost twice. No, whatever. However, freaking many games we had to endure. So
Too much.
it wasn't a good LAN for me. I'm sorry. I loved how it was treated there. I loved it, but I showed up after support and I was like, well,
Okay.
I
Zach.
really liked the opportunity for there to be like CC narratives. I think the opportunity,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think all of that is really healthy for the esport. Even after that event and you hearing me rant as fucking crazy as I just went off, I think that we should move to an 80 team or 60 team format. I'd really like to see 80 and see if they could work alongside, the pro players and staff and see if we could really work out a proper 5-day schedule for 80 teams and see what that feels like, because I think you'd still have the opportunity for those underdog stories. I think it'd be enough teams where it would be like manageable to cover it all. And I think with the proper schedule, it could be really cool and fun for esport instead of 160. Because I don't think the Open's going anywhere, right? So like it's either like we're gonna have to deal with 160 or hope we can meet them in the middle somewhere else.
Yeah, I think
telling them never do it again won't work.
No, they will do it 100%. I think they are planning to do it. I don't think they will do it twice in a year. I think they will do it once each competitive year. I don't know if 160 is really horrible. The problem is the time it's squeezed in. Like the time is squeezed in where you have to play 36 games in 2 days. This is a little bit tough, and what I don't like about the format. Maybe less teams might be, yes, but giving them a small chance, not bad. Not bad. I know that Slayer's in the chat, Slayer in the chat is just abusing everyone.
If they want to do 160 teams, bro, you have to open the fucking budget and get the right type of place to set up an event like that. That was not a proper place to host that event. With the hotel chairs, the way you couldn't see second floor, you couldn't even see the side stage down the middle or the other side. There were no chairs for featured stage. Like unacceptable. You'd have to open up the budget, and I don't think they'll do that.
They could do also to replicate the underdog story. They could do the qualing to LAN, like 60 teams qual through LAN normally, and then 20 qual through LCQ. So you started that underdog story even a month before the LAN, and that leads up to maybe through screens or whatever they want.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Japan event would be insane. Like
yeah, I think it will put exposure on so many people and young people and young talents. Japan is just different level.
They have to do it right. But again, to do it right, they're gonna have to expand that budget, and we just watched them do hundreds, if not millions, of dollars of playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like going to them after they just did, a couple $1 million layoffs and going, "Hey guys, need you to drop another blank amount of money on doing this right, or else it's a waste of your time." Like it's just, it almost feels too good to be true. It feels like unrealistic, but that is the answer. So it's like they're stuck in a rock and a hard place.
I'm happy that the Torkaholics type of story happened, but the only reason I'm very harping on you have to do it right is because there were other underdog stories that I think could have got similar attention that nobody will ever truly be able to give those teams love because of the simple fact that they didn't get the benefit of being on main stage every time.
Yeah,
and so,
which was pure luck at the end of the day.
Yeah,
there was an actual.
It was.
I'm not going to put this person on blast, but there was a partial system. It was top 2 out of your lobby, and then that's featured stage, and then main stage was just picked. They were swapping the schedule. Who was on main stage?
Literally on one of the days.
Yeah, you woke up at 7 a.m. for your games, and you woke up to a message saying, "Hey, you're playing in a different spot now." Again, the staff were set up to fail, so you cannot blame the staff. But
no, absolutely,
it would be really awesome to see them, set up to succeed and see what they could achieve and do for us and what we could do for the esport as a total or as a whole.
There are a lot of teams that actually, as already Jay said, like FWG, Gamblers, this Zesty Pesty, 70 from EMEA, so many teams that they made it really far, either to the elimination finals or the elimination round 5 or even 4, and that's a big achievement for them, but nobody knew about that, nobody saw that, nobody could catch those moments because it wasn't on the main stage. So I agree. Now, next question. Why do we see a lot of PL teams, so many PL teams struggling versus the CC teams? Wasn't the format? Wasn't the pressure? Wasn't the quality of the lobby itself? Or we're just underestimating those things? We saw the same things in BLGS in the past. Why did it happen?
Just,
Aurora, Liquid, many, even UGG, but you did it at least to elimination finals at least. So many people
I mean,
did not.
for us specifically, it was a different story, which I will not comment on. But
Okay.
I think for majority of people, it was just not like we're used to play a certain game. Every one of us is, and then you're suddenly put into a context where you know how only 30 or 40 teams play. You don't know anything about the other ones. You don't know that Babo is gonna push you off spawn from Humbert into Old Town, because nobody has ever done it to you, and throughout your whole career. That's why, like, I thought that at this LAN, unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to apply this, but I thought that cheese comps would win. Not win, but succeed. Like Valk cheeses rotations. We saw that, I think 70 was playing Valk.
Yeah.
He just cheese you get into whatever spot. Alter, whatever. Alter
Babo
was
as
mine,
well, right? And the
Alter cheeses
VKG.
space. Mirage, Crypto Ballistic, Maggie. All of this that is cheese, they do one thing, they do it in a not honest way, because if you are prepared for it, you absolutely run them into the ground. Aside from Alter, all the counts that were very, very specific, that were banking on the surprise effect, did very well. And that's just how it worked.
I think the biggest issue with the open land for pro league teams is it actually played out like North American scrims. I think that's a big reason why Alliance won or almost won. I think that's a huge reason why Falcons just. I can speak to VP because like the reason we did bad was completely my own fault, so I can talk about all I want. But it was like we literally went into every single fucking lobby except for the first lobby. Like game 1, we're gonna play all 3 Newcastle Cat. We're gonna play really slow, and we're gonna see how the lobby is. Because every single group we were going, yeah, it's gonna get hard. It's gonna turn into a LAN. At what point is it gonna turn into a LAN where it's 20 squads zone 4?
Never.
At what point is that going to happen?
Never.
And we did that in every single group, all the way to grand finals, where we were like, okay, this is the group it's gonna happen. And sure enough, it was polar opposite. You just needed to be on a full kill comp from game 1. It was 14 squads, zone 1, zone 2. Like it literally played out exactly like a scrim block. And that was really disappointing because honestly, I think going into EWC and stuff, I think it's going to go back to like more normal style LAN.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of related to it being the open. And that was like really hard. I didn't adapt to that at all as IGL. And that was one of the major reasons for us getting such a bad placement is I just was really struggling to get out of my own head after I had a really I just would like make a bad call here or there because it's 14 squads alive and everyone's on a kill comp that I just wasn't expecting, and then it just went downhill from there. It was really strange. Can't really make excuses, but it doesn't mean it's not true, right? So it's like I don't know how to feel about it. There's like a comfortable middle ground where I'm like, yeah, I did call didn't play great, but at the same time, it's like, how am I supposed to predict that I'm going to the first LAN in literally all 5 years, 6 years of Apex, where it's going to play like scrims, and that was really disappointing. That was tough. I mean, 14 squad zone 1 is not good.
I mean, Alliance could suffer twice into this LAN, not making it almost twice. Once they got 8th, once they waited until last zone, they had to be actually getting top 2, and they won the game at that one. And they were actually in a horrible spot too. They could twice went to the elimination. I don't think it's only the scrims ones. I think it's like being dynamic a little bit and being adapting to the lobby and knowing what the lobby needs.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard.
I think this is one of the best even Zero can. He's so dynamic. He can adapt to something really fast, and this is something.
He's definitely.
And we were
definitely the best.
And we were shooting nukes.
Obviously.
We were shooting nukes. Look at Hal and look. Hal is 130 something. Zero is 110, and like even Waltzy on a crypto, he had I think top 20 stats from all the players, or top 25 stats.
Insane.
Crypto player. So I think we were farming. Yeah, agree. We were farming that shit. So
I was gonna say too, this was also the first LAN with the legend bans, and the bans were real weird depending on the lobby. It was either Newcastle got banned first or not banned at all. Catalyst had some stuff like that. Crypto
Dude, that
had
was
some
weird.
stuff like that.
Yes.
So it was like you could be going to a lobby thinking like, all right, this is going to be a really aggressive one, and then all of a sudden Newcastle's just never banned, and you can't be as aggressive as you thought you wanted to be, or the complete opposite. And so, like you're saying with the adapting, I feel like it was just weird. I feel like going into every lobby, you couldn't predict what was going to happen in terms of ban order, how teams were going to play, who was going to be. There were so many times watching where like a team like a Torcaholics or a Babo, whoever, would cause like a 5-team pile up at a certain POI on rotation, and then all of a sudden everything just gets chalked, and then they walk away from it because they leave. But all the other teams are left to just like suffer for it, you know?
It was unique. There's been nothing even remotely close to it, and I hope there's nothing remotely close to it ever.
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
our lands playing out like our scrims play out is healthy for the esport. But
Yeah.
what the do I know?
Okay. Who are the most top 2 positive teams for you, 2 positive players for you, and 2 actually disappointment because of the results for you? Sorry if you don't want to answer disappointment, I understand. First, we'll start with the teams, no players. Then you go with players.
This applies to both team and player. I loved that Strafing Flame was back at the top. I was really happy to
Yes.
see him, Pricey, Player K do really well. They were killing it all LAN, and I loved that. I'm
Pricey
happy
for me.
him.
Pricey for me. I
Pricey-
loved
Pricey
watching
was
Pricey
going
back.
crazy all LAN.
Yeah.
Go look at the stats. Pricey was insane.
That dude finally got
You?
something going for him again.
You,
It's
Zach?
so nice.
Honestly, well, this is obviously crazy, like insider knowledge that nobody else would probably understand or see, but probably Slayer. I mean, Slayer like hardcore carried. The only reason we made grand finals was Slayer. Slayer individually had a performance that was like fucking crazy, like Hal level. But Slayer didn't have 0 and Walsey at his side. I was trolling, so. I think Slayer had an incredible land. I think Hal had an incredible land, but I think it's really expected out of Hal, so it's a little bit different.
Nice to know.
I'm trying to think the team who did the best. I mean, surely there's a right answer, and it's Pricey in them, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely didn't think they would get 3rd or 4th. I think
Not
they
at
got
all.
3rd. I definitely didn't think that they would just shit on everyone. The only other team you could talk about was Twisted Minds. They did terrible in grand finals, but they had an incredible
they
land
got
up until
6th,
that
though.
point. Wait, they got 6th? I thought they got 16.
Yeah.
All right, well, there
No,
you
they
go.
got- they got
The
6th,
Twisted
yeah.
Minds is a good shout.
Yeah.
Twisted Minds is a great shout.
Sick. The paycheck stealer himself, stealing more paychecks.
Yeah, I mean yeah.
Okay.
I think everybody will go. The most of
I
the
say
viewers
that,
will go with
That's my
Workaholics.
goat.
Most of the viewers will go with Workaholics because like it's a huge surprise. It's a not. It's like I don't know what to tell you. Like it's nobody expected from them. I think many people would be going with Strafing because Strafing is one of the best players he was and IGLs, and he just dropped a big performance for the last few lands, and now he's back on being 3rd place. That's a very nice. Plus Pricey as well. Pricey, and yeah, as Arctic said, Arctic was the problem. He was the problem when he was with Strafing. He was the reason. Sorry, Arctic.
Another one that we got to give a shout out to. I mean, we just talked about them because they got signed to Sentinels, but Empire finished 7th. Those boys went crazy,
Yeah.
and I
That
feel
is
like
crazy.
that's a story that was one of those ones where I was like, I wish, because everybody talks about Torcaholics, and obviously they absolutely deserve it. Shout out to those guys. The fact that they made finals the way they did is insane. But I wish that more people got to see like the Empire run as well, because I feel like they were going pretty nuts too.
That's
I agree.
That's true. That's very, very true. We will have them, or we'll have one of them, Riley, on the podcast on Saturday. We have him with Dig Vibes and the coach of Hambino, which is Orchid, Cad. His name is Cad. We'll have 3 people talks about how actually the experience of being from tier 2 to tier 1, doing good and so on. All of that. Now we will have a surprise as well for the Sentinel sign. So, what was the disappointment for you? Who did you get disappointed from the results?
VP.
VP.
Okay, well.
GG.
GG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Outside of the-
everyone thought that we were probably getting top 10 like guaranteed. I don't think anyone expected us to get outside of top 10, and we barely clinched finals because of Slayer. Like
You?
it was really, really, really bad.
I expected you to do better because coming from first place in A Pro League, good LAN, and actually almost not making finals and making finals, as you said, like individual performance, something is not, and then the finals been doing bad, so it was not a big surprise. For me, personally, it's Go Next. Go Next with this roster. Go Next with this
my
roster,
God,
not
yeah.
not Navi,
They
not
got
Navi,
eliminated so early.
but Go Next with this roster, being round one, day one. Like it's a henchman, Atinum, and Kinda. This is a team that is definitely a final material.
Oh, LG. I thought LG would do good for the
LG
most
too.
part.
Mm,
Yeah, they seemed like they were doing good at the beginning of the land. I didn't expect them to just go out on like the third day.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else.
Yeah.
Just LG.
Go next day one.
I was pretty sad that Crazy Raccoon got eliminated in Elim round 2.
I expected them somehow.
I mean, I don't think the
Not
expectations were
it,
high for them based on what happened last year. Like they
Oh,
didn't look
yeah.
good
and even
all
Pro
year.
League,
But I mean, still, like that's like a land winning team, and they got Elim round 2.
even Pro
you know?
League.
Bro, NIP,
Yeah.
NIP. Oh my god.
Yeah, they
Didn't
won.
NIP
Yeah, they
get, like almost fucking last.
they
Weren't they like way down?
where did they get eliminated?
Who? Crazy Raccoon?
NIP.
NIP round one as well. Like the same
round
as
one, right?
Go Next. This day one.
Dude.
They got 14th
Okay.
out of 16 teams. in
Yeah,
that
then NIP over everyone.
And
NIP
Go
over
Next as
everyone.
well, the same as them. Go Next is better roster than NIP. Go Next is a way better roster. They even performing in PL.
Nip had a sub.
Nip were playing with Scurry.
True.
So it's like not the same team.
True.
Not the full team. So like I think both teams definitely is a disappointment for the result. I think Go Next for me is a bigger surprise because of how good and what is the ceiling of this team is, at least right now. And you can even count more than only one. Who do we have? You can count NIP, you can count them, you can count CR, you can count LG, you can count Noisy Fox, which is Laika and Satuki, you can count Fnatic, Aurora, GG, Liquid, so many of those teams. Complexity, all of those teams being round one, like around 3 or 4 or 5.
It's fine. We will be top team in EWC.
Yeah. So many. This is big supplement. We talked about the Legends ban right now. Do you think the Legends ban system right now, how it is, achieves what it needs to achieve? Achieves what it needs to achieve?
Yes.
Fully.
I like your system more still, but
I do agree. I like
it's
your
acceptable.
system more, but I like it.
It achieves a sufficient result.
Respawn. Listen, they like my system more. Can we apply it?
The only thing I don't like about your system is that for people that would come in that don't really know Apex that much, it's kind of hard to follow. It's kind of hard there to follow.
What do they need to follow in it?
I don't agree with that. It'd be a graphic.
Yeah.
It'd be an all-time. It'd just be like, you know how they have an overall leaderboard and a game leaderboard?
Yes.
It would be the exact same thing, would it not?
Why would
it
you
would just
need
be
to?
Overall leaderboard. 97 picks Newcastle, 33 picks Crypto.
Exactly.
It would just be overall
I
leaderboard.
guess.
It's just a display thing at the end of it. It's just a display thing. It's over of it. So
The reason I like yours more is because I think my assumption is the whole goal of why they did the ban system is they want to force variety and they want like the viewer experience to be refreshed. And to me, the reason yours is better is because like refreshing to me is not, okay, we brought in Alter for this one game, she's banned. She gets replaced by Ashe, now she's banned. We replaced by Wraith, she's banned. Because that means I only saw those characters for one game. Meanwhile, the whole time I'm watching Newcastle.
And like how they
Everybody's playing
play
Newcastle.
and how they
Right.
play with those comps is the exact same. Like
Exactly,
Wraith,
yeah.
Alter, Ashe, like they're all effectively
Same
trying to accomplish the
function.
same thing of setting up shop in a certain.
function.
Yeah, versus like in our current system, those lobbies where Newcastle's not banned. Sure, he was never the most picked character, but the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, it's a Newcastle lobby. He dictates the way the lobby is played. And same with Crypto, same with some of these other
It's a
characters.
castle
So
Crypto lobby.
just the
Yeah.
simple fact that your system eliminates that, I like it more. Because I feel like it solves the issue of like the character just surviving forever and then we see them all 6 games.
Yeah.
Because then that feels less refreshing than, the current system.
And we have now a lot of good legends, man. We
Yeah.
even have now Pathy is getting buffed. They are trying to buff a lot of legends. You're getting a lot of things. You can start theory crafting something new. This shows as well how flexible players are in playing a new legend and not like clutching and doing only one either castle or crypto, but playing bang, playing wraith, playing cats, playing whatever. whatever the system needs. Good.
Harmo's asking what the system is. The system, the way it currently works, is each individual game, the most picked character gets banned. It doesn't matter how much they got picked in the games before, it's just that one game. And privacy system was it counts across all games. So after games 1 and 2, we add up how much the characters are picked on both. After games 1 through 3, we add up all that. So it's not just the one game. It's who's the most picked character through all the games so far. That character gets banned.
Exactly what. And there is a Twitter post on my stream on my Twitter. Just go back to it. It has like kind of about the ban system. It's just like total accumulation of everything.
I think as of right now, there's like 14 legends that are playable that you can actually make an argument for.
Many.
That's a lot. In Sapporo, that we had 4, maybe 5.
That's a good for EWC. EWC are going to go minimum 10 games.
Yeah.
Minimum 10 games. Good. Sorry?
I saw a random comment about people. This is totally off topic, so if you want to stay on topic, let me know.
Just go over that.
People saying there was a huge dialect about Apex pros and content creators talking negatively about the game and how big of an impact that has on it and how underestimated it is and what talking positively would do for the game. And it was something that was a little frustrating to kind of digest, because it's like when you're being treated like respectfully, how do you just like make the most out of it and speak positively on like straight hopium that it changes? The second that Respawn made the changes that they made internally, and we're getting patches now every single 2 weeks, we're getting hot fixes overnight. All the pros, all the creators have been very open and very positive about it in changing their opinion. What we talk so negatively about the Open, or we'll talk so negatively about Pro League or this or that, but when have you ever seen a pro say anything negative about EWC, and so on and so on and so on? It's like to me, it's frustrating because it feels like when we're treated like equally or like fairly, like the pros are unexplainably grateful, very public about their opinions. I see people tweeting, I see people in Discords, I see the feedback online, I see it everywhere, people talking about it internally, offline. But I don't know, that was like a can of worms I was thinking about, because people were freaking out when we were just shitting on ALGS and shitting on Pro League and shitting on the LAN system. And it was like, dude, we're getting treated like crap. We want to see them do better. And if they do better, then this is the outcome. And sure enough, here we are. And everyone's so ecstatic, except for the Open.
I think there is a difference between being criticizing something and being actually just a complete head, being that thing and just doing it for views, or doing for likes, or doing for something. This is shit. You need definitely to say your opinion honestly, to be able. Don't write madness, chat. No, I'm not meaning madness. Holy, I always say it. And you need to make yeah, I'm sorry, but because people start madness, and I always say no, don't do it. So you need to put your opinion. Whatever Hackers does, Hal does, everyone does. Even how I do it in a way of actually criticizing things and giving some even solutions and positive things. I never talks out of nowhere. Nobody talks out of nowhere. Our goal is to have the game at the best. And look what happened right now. Look how amazing they are doing. I think, and I'm almost sure, I think if they did this changes a year ago, I think Apex right now would have been triple the views, would have been triple everything.
Yeah.
Would have been 100%. Just, oh my God, would have been just like...
And this wraps into my opinion on the Open LAN. I think that there's a happy middle ground with the Open LAN with like 80 teams or 160 teams, either or. I'd prefer 80, but 160 teams can work if they put in the budget and they do the event properly. They have all these different broadcasts working, and they have FaZe working, and they have all these things going. Like, if we can get these things right, it comes full circle, and we will be 100%. That esport that's hosting 560 player LAN events successfully. And you're going to hear players going, holy f***, that was a crazy event. I can't believe Twerkaholics from CC made it. And there's going to be 70,000 people watching saying the exact same thing. But when you have all the, things shit hitting the fan, you can't create that.
I think personally that Apex, if the direction in which Apex is moving right now, I believe that Apex can be the esport. Not one of the best. I believe it can be the best. Like, it it has all the cards for it.
Nope.
I think it can. I don't find
You're not
any
passing
other
league,
game.
buddy.
Okay,
We
but
need
you
Korea
can
and
tell
Japan
me-
to become a lot better at this
you
game.
cannot you cannot tell me that the
I
league
must-
game is better than matched EWC. You cannot tell me that you watch that and you have as much fun as watching match point.
I think there is a 0%, not a 0.001. I think there's a 0% chance we ever pass league. I mean, the way that they have it with the Fearless draft, the LPL, the LCK, the LTA, all this other bullshit, I don't see that happening. But I appreciate like the hope, and I think we could be the second best esport. I think we could pass Valorant. I think we could pass every single one other than League.
Valorant is so boring.
CS? You think we pass CS?
I think we could. Oh, I comfortably think we could pass
Yeah.
CS if we had a proper if we had a proper circuit. Hear me out. This is never gonna happen, but let it dream. You know what I'm saying? Hear me out. We had like 6 LANs a year. We had these pro league splits in between that were never falling on these LANs, right? All these LANs are just in like crazy beautiful places where we had the budget. Everyone's talking highly about the game. We have, not just the B stream, but we have like up to the fucking F stream. We have Command Center and Face It working, and we do that for 2 years. By the second year, the end of the second year, I think we'd comfortably pass CS. Because think of how many professional games would get played over 6 LANs and then like 4 pro leagues or like 4 splits of pro league throughout the year. There'd be so much pro Apex on all the time.
Let's get the people vote.
I don't
for that.
disagree with all those things. I do think there's a lot more stuff that would have to be fixed. Like I think it has to become way easier for fans to root for teams. Like they have to fix the roster change stuff because there's too many times that I see the casual fans be like, I don't even know who's on what team. I still get people that are like, "Sweet retired? What happened?"
True. I have the same things.
I have the same things. It's got to become a lot easier in that aspect.
Okay.
And they just have to invest more in making it that level. And I don't know.
Oh yeah, bro. Chili said something good.
What?
The partnering with Orgs.
Yeah. Let's not get into it. Like it's but like you cannot tell me, you cannot find a way to convince me that a CS final match is more hype than a match point final match.
Definitely not. Hype is not.
Okay, no,
but it's just
nothing can match the match point because for those they can win.
It's established.
Like they can steamroll a team that's not even close. Where in match point, it's always going to be intense no matter what. Unless the Open was somewhat not intense. But that's pretty rare.
It was like scrims. It wasn't like
it was based on the lobby quality. A normal LAN is always going to be intense.
Melbourne
have
was
so many good teams that somebody's going to come that close to winning and then not do it, and then we go another game and everybody goes crazy, right?
I mean,
LG in Sapporo was this close to winning because this was the difference between the bubble that would have won them the game and the bubble that.
And Zachmazer would have even won the game.
Dude, I was that close to walling all 3 of them into LG. I was a millimeter away from booping all 3 of them into LG's bubble, and then we win. And it goes another game. How crazy would that have been?
Crowd would have erupted.
Bro, if we won that game, that would have been the loudest moment in an Apex history.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking crazy.
We were this close to winning in Mannheim. I think it was 2 or 3 times. This close. This. And ALGS at EWC. Like, it's amazing. It's
Funk,
so
I hate you.
watch.
Tell him when he play next scrim with you. Tell him I every single time I tell him, Funk, I hate you. 2 LANs already. I don't know how long we will keep it.
Prepare for the 3rd.
Okay. To wrap that one up, we have a long journey before we can pass any esports. But if we could take the small steps in the right direction, like Respawn just did with our patches and the state of our game, if we could do that on the ALGS side of things, it would make a crazy, monumental difference very fast. We get Face It and Command Center up and working. We get, we figure out what we want to do with this open LAN. We figure out roster changes, right? And these aren't like big things to ask for. Making sure that LANs aren't falling in the middle of Pro League, not a crazy ask. Fixing these roster changes mid-Pro League, not a crazy ask, right? If we could just start here, start small on those things and just gives ourselves a strong foundation, it'd be good.
Also, a very small one that I've been wanting for years. Can we just announce the LANs like way earlier? Every other esport, they say the LANs like in COD. I knew where Champs was going to be before like the second major even happened, and they have like 5. So Why do we have to wait until after the LAN and then right at the end we say the next one's over here? It doesn't build like any hype. It doesn't allow for people to pre-plan if they want to travel across
Open
the world.
wasn't hype.
Or like save
Like,
money.
Aurora.
Open
Yeah,
lost
we
the
have
hype.
to
Aurora
announce
missing out
these.
on LANs.
You should be going
Right.
into a competitive year announcing all of them
Yeah.
before the year even starts.
Yeah, agree.
It would help with
agree.
visa processes too, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got nothing. That was the last can of worms that I was able to open, was the whole like talking negatively or positively about the game and
Like,
how
I don't know,
it
like,
correlates.
it's also good right now that on Respawn that the legend updates that they're making are fun.
Yeah.
They're addressing what is boring about the game, and they're giving you stuff to run them down.
Yeah.
Well,
It's-
here's my take on it. Is we used to deal with an issue of things being broken, or like, you know, like the PK. Like, God, it was probably like 3 years ago now. But remember when the PK would only hit 121s, and it was like you had to have the gun or you lost, or like when the Havoc was super broken, and if you happened to have a Volt because you didn't find a Havoc, you just lose,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And it's like we were dealing with these metas where like your fights in certain situations were like literally pre-decided. And that sucks, but it sucks a lot worse when you have to do it for 6 months or 9 months straight or 3 months straight. When they're doing these patches every 2 weeks, it's like, yeah, dude, if I'm getting my ran by P2s for like a month and a half, it's not the end of the world, because my next month and a half is going to be the Turbo Diva. And then my month and a half after that might be the Volt. And then my month and a half after that might be the, and that's acceptable. Like you can put up with the broken for a month and a half. You're going to be and complaining the whole time. But the reality is, like, that's almost like healthy. You're seeing a meta and it's coming and it's going and you got to play it. Versus, you know, we're doing those metas for 6 months at a time sometimes. And it's like, what are we doing?
The Newcastle meta, to me, was the biggest surprise, because we were the best team in 1-9. We were, period. I don't think anyone is against that. We just showed, hey, Newcastle can do this. And the answer to that was, okay, yeah, we will buff it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was strange. Made it indestructible.
They made him like one of the most broken characters ever.
Made it.
Oh,
Newcastle was good if you got purple. Then they made the electrified wall last 2 minutes without the perk, and you were like, oh no, like.
True. So, next one. Do we go for the next? We saw in this LAN, the open LAN, there was a huge gap in regions between EMEA, EMEA, APAC North, APAC South, and whoever you want to say. First of all, how do you right now, if I give you rank for me the regions, how they are right now? Where do we go?
NA.
You might be
America's one.
NA. Yeah, EU might be.
And then
Hold on.
Like, oh my god.
There's no way we could put EU last. The simple fact that Alliance exists, to me, puts them over APAC North.
Yeah, because there is no like top dog in APAC North.
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that.
Fair enough.
There was
you're definitely
Fnatic,
right.
but they were never as consistent Alliance. They haven't won, and they've been shifting rosters too, and haven't.
So it's like NA South, EU North. Then I guess after that, right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
thing is, you are talking about one team, like really one team. I know that
But
there
like,
is a
that's the
GG
thing.
is
in
doing
the finals,
good.
there was 2 EMEA, 2 APAC North, and Alliance. Boom, I'll just take EMEA over them for the simple fact that Alliance exists.
You have a good point. Can't really disagree with that.
Because like, if you were to say, all right, we're going into EWC, which APAC North teams qualify for LAN? Can you guarantee any of them? Fnatic used to be the only guarantee, and they didn't make the Open finals. It was GHS and Bob.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, that motherfucker Galari, man, is insane, bro.
He is insane. He is
that guy is. Bro, that guy needs to come to NA.
Who is it?
Like, I don't know what he's going to be able to achieve over there in APAC North, but that guy is Jesus.
Yes, he is insanely good. I watched him. Before. So the thing is, after they won the first Pro League day, and people told me about from the APAC North, and they would reviewed them, and I was actually surprised how good they are. I surprised how even structured for a PSQ team, because they are PSQ team. And I was watching Yulariman and I said, like, this guy confidence is compared to like a top player's confidence. Like he's not a player that coming now from PSQ. And his mechanics is really nice, but his biggest strength is his confidence. He throws sometimes games, but he is up there in APAC North.
Who doesn't?
And
doesn't at the end of the day.
Breaking news: Sentinels signed the old Empire roster.
is it?
That's fire as
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
cool.
that's amazing.
Loader card.
That's
Shout out the boys.
cool. Let's watch that here. They
Let's
deserve.
hope they don't get the Sentinels curse though.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I like those boys, and I like. I mean,
Wait.
people knows about it. I watched Riley since he was playing in CC, and I liked all of them. They are extremely nice and extremely good, and they improve together. Hopefully, there is no Sentinel curse. Hopefully. Good. love to see it. And before we go to the everything, with the whole changes that happened, Legends, and this is the first LAN we will play Legends Bands, POI Draft, and 160 format. From rated from 1 to 10 for each of those, how much do you like the POI Draft from 1 to 10?
It's healthy.
10
I
is
thought
the
it was
best.
going to be really
10
bad
is the
for the
best.
game, but it was great. Probably
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the best. How much do you like the POI Draft?
I would
Yeah,
say
8.
7. My only complaints.
why a 7, yeah.
I don't like 4 maps personally. I like 3. I thought 3 was good. I think we take out Broken Moon. But that's not even necessarily POI draft related. And then 7, I love contesting. Listen, as a viewer, the POI draft, like it makes the game quality better, all that kind of stuff. But when you're watching the games, there's nothing to pay attention to in the early game now. Obviously, like for me, I can pay attention to stuff. I like rotates. I like the map stream, all this stuff. But just watching 2 teams go and kill each other, people want blood, you know? There was nothing more hype than watching Zach and Gnaske just duke it out in a LAN finals.
Yeah.
And
Dude, Red Rams.
you know, Red Rams.
STSM, G Red
and then
Rams,
all the
Aurora.
moments where like one of those teams is on like the brink of not qualifying. So like all of a sudden SSG's landing at Lightning Rod to go kill Red
True.
Rams. TSM is somewhere random. Who knows where they went? Like
True.
DZ when they were chasing Aurora back at like
Oh my god,
Shipfall
I love
days,
it.
like,
Oh my
I
god, get
love
me
those
back.
moments happening with POI draft. I love the
You know-
POI draft, but I love contesting.
Get me back to that.
You know how easy it is to cast and create narratives when there's like a contest going on and then
Exactly,
SSG
yeah.
randomly goes to third party it? Like the second you see them coming out of the ship, you're basically in zone 7, like
Yeah.
endgame. You're like,
Yes.
holy, this is crazy. Like the
It-
narrative for the rest of that
yes.
game completely changes 10 seconds into it, and it's so hype. Versus like the first 15 minutes of the game being stale and hoping that someone chows each other.
Yeah, it gives you
I'll be right
something to look forward to at the beginning of the game, and it created this like anticipation of like, oh, what will they do? Oh, we're swapping maps. They're not contesting on this map, but does the team that was winning go and like try to kill them? And then you just get all this crazy stuff. So, I truly love contesting. It is one of my favorite things that's ever existed, and for that, I will always. I love the POI draft, but I will always wish that the excitement of contest could still exist in the early game.
Cool. Okay.
I have the opposite opinion because it comes
I-
from the competitive part.
Yeah, I figure most
Because-
teams probably are like, I hate contesting. I just want to get my good POI and do my thing.
And people.
I
Yeah.
hate that we were fighting for Zeus
Yeah,
in Split 1 Pro League
I remember.
for-
Yeah,
4 months and we were
Yep.
up by 70.
and they
No,
won't leave.
7, 8, and up by 70, and they wouldn't leave. We played Octane on the Zeus contest, and they lost and they wouldn't leave. So like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't like POI draft myself. I was the most benefited team out of not POI, not contesting. I loved contesting. I'm not gonna say a big fact. I helped some teams winning contests against other teams too, not my teams.
Yeah, not me, you piece of shit. You want to talk about that? You lying piece of shit. Yeah, chat.
I'm not
Can
gonna
we even
say.
talk about that?
I'm not
Can we
Talk
gonna-
about
even
it.
talk
Do
about
it. Come
I don't-
on. It's in the
No,
past.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it. Are we allowed to talk about that?
What?
Like the handshake agreements that would have behind the scenes with.
No, I'll
No.
DM it in the group chat really quick. I don't know.
No, that's not true. That's literally not. Look. That
Can I
thing.
talk about that? No,
Yes.
you're a lying piece of shit for that either.
That
There's no way
wasn't-
you can spin that. But can we
that-
even talk about that?
The fanatic thing's fine.
Okay, then we can talk about it. Yeah,
It's-
this mother privacy chat. No, don't just if he talks, just tune him out, chat. This mother privacy. We pick cliffside,
They changed
right?
it.
And Fnatic is
out.
Elrod. And Privacy goes, yeah, go cliffside. You can take their car. You
No,
will
I did
always
not
get
tell
their
you
car.
go. I did not tell you go cliffside.
This
That
is not.
after you
He
picked
even
it.
said, I'll send you a VOD on how to get their car.
Yes.
And he sent us the exact way on how to beat them to the car.
But
and
after
we
you
sat
picked
in
it.
customs chat. We sat in customs, like VP sat in customs for a hour and a half racing to that
Fake
car.
news. Fake news.
And we were losing it. We were like, what the Sure enough, we do it on game day and they just beat the
News. Fake news.
And we
One-
never would have done
How
it.
do you beat
One
it? 'Cause
thing-
I've seen so many teams try that and always
Fake-
lose.
Fake news. One thing is he picked his cliffside and then he asked me, but then he even griefed us with his pick and I was angry of him for the pick because I didn't want him to.
Yeah, bro.
Second
what goes
is-
around comes around. You can't lie
second-
to me and expect me not to grieve you.
Second is after he picked it, I tell you they changed the drop spots and this is what Noct told you because
You fucking
Noct
told me they changed the drop spots after we
because
lost
I did
the
not
contest
know
on
because I did
main
not
stage.
know why the fuck would I know it after
Oh yeah, bro.
beginning of the
bro.
system.
That whole thing that I told you and set you up for grand finals. By the
Okay.
way, that was wrong.
Listen to
I'm
the guy.
Sorry that I'm letting you
Listen.
know after the finals.
The guy is writing
Fake
me.
news.
Look, the guy is writing me. Listen to it. I am making it to the blue box. What's happening? I told him. Then it's something weird. I told you this when you told me. I had no idea you could make it to the blue box. It was never happened before that you could make it to the blue box. When you told me in custom, you did it. I told you. I have no idea. It wasn't happening
That's
before.
not right. And the worst part is our macro was literally going to be going and down. We loot our little buildings.
Dude.
We're gonna steal the launch pad spiders, just have like unlimited cells and some good attachments on some guns, and that's how we were gonna play. But instead, we spent fucking 2 weeks sitting in customs trying to race to that fucking car because so and so was 100% certain. Oh my
Yeah,
god, that
but
was funny.
But even
You guys
Noct
are like,
told
Privacy
you.
said it's possible. We gotta
Even
figure
Noct-
this out. We're just not
even-
doing it right.
Bro, if we
even
didn't
Noct
get
told
fifth,
you.
I actually might have been upset. But since
Look-
we got fifth, I was like, you know what, whatever.
Wait, even
laugh.
Noct told him we contested for a lightning growth car for ages against them, and it's actually 50-50. Mostly even the cliffside winning it. They changed it. Why the f- would I even check cliffside after the beginning of the season? I was there and it was clear. When you told me,
So listen,
can
all I'm
confirm
saying
the
is,
cliffside
as an
would win.
analyst, you can't really say why would I check that. That's
Because
what you should be checking.
why would I check this one? I don't. Sorry, I'm not landing there.
Let's reverse the roles. Let's say that you were doing this with Falcons the whole time.
I would
and
have
not
went.
me.
I would have tried it
And
checked
Zero
it.
did that,
I would have checked
and
it.
you were wrong, and Falcons died multiple
Never.
times because of it.
One thing is Falcons
Well,
would not
Zero
let.
might have taken a finger from you or
Look,
something.
look. Falcons would have not tried second time after they died the first time because they have brain. You motherfucker went second time after you died the first time. You fucking wants to do it. You got beaten to the car the first
we did it
time,
for the second
and
time
you still
because of
repeat it.
delusion.
And
Well,
you still
no,
fucking
no.
repeat it. And you
No,
just like
well-
don't get you are here to blame me. Like
No, Slayer
you are
Or Liuq, I
dying.
don't remember who it was. No, Slayer said he messed it up. He said I landed in the wrong spot in the cannon. That's why he beat me. So we did it again so he could land in the right spot in the cannon. That's why we did it again.
Yeah. Like if Slayer's in the air, seeing
that
the
the
guy
moment
in the
where
car
Slayer went
before
and
he
jumped
even
off the map?
reaches. Slayer's
Yeah.
in the air, seeing the guy in the car already when he's in the air, and he didn't even trigger for him something. Oh, something is wrong.
All right, we can move on. But yeah, long story short, chat, privacy griefed me.
No, but
And then I griefed them back.
I'm not gonna tell you something else. I griefed you twice.
Yeah, I'm sure. Probably 3 times. We'll get there.
Yo, guys. Okay. So next one. We go to move to the next one.
Out for free.
Hello. So the next question is on a scale of 1 to 10, not anymore POI draft, but Legends ban. How much do you like it?
Oh, like 9.5.
9.5.
Thank you.
Legends ban.
Yeah.
See you later.
You like the Legends ban. You like really Legends ban,
Yeah,
right?
Love it.
I love that there's bans. I think it could be improved, but it's lovely that we have a system that allows for such variety
Okay.
in comps.
Okay. Like it.
The only thing, and it remains to be seen what happens at other lands, the only thing that I don't love about what happened in the open with it is it made it way harder for teams to realize who was on match point, which means we didn't go more games. And I hope that's not the case when we get a more serious, like all the best teams,
There is a way to do
you
it.
know, EWC type of lobby.
I mean,
But we'll see.
There is a way.
I
to
think
know.
they need to move the games up. I think they need to do a minimum of 8 games for match point. I think they need
Would
to
you
move
like
it to
to increase the
60.
score?
I think they need to put it to 60 points. And that's
much.
a terrible idea. We
That's
play
too
many
much,
games.
no.
That's too much.
EWC went
Come
13
on.
games at
On
60.
50.
No, that
Yeah,
one was
but
60.
but that was
y'all had-
crazy, bro.
That one was insane. But there was also
That's
the advancement points
no
in that
way.
one.
What about a
So
happy medium?
there's-
What about a happy medium of like 55 and a minimum of 8 games? Like surely we move the minimum to 8 games though, right? Like a 6-game grand finals
think-
match point feels like that's
Yeah,
so
but
underwhelming.
it doesn't ever happen though. It might have just been it was the
Too
open.
many.
It just happened.
I mean,
Yeah, but it was the open. Like you said,
You
Ren
could be
won.
like me right now. You could be me right now, where I was in denial the entire tournament, going,
We don't need
"Oh,
it
it's
to
the
regular, yeah.
open. It's the open. Like it's never gonna happen again." I went to every lobby. Oh, this is the troll lobby. Next lobby will be serious, and then
think
it
we're not-
happened to every lobby through grand finals. Like, what if
Even
it
that
does
last
happen again?
game though, the way that it actually played out was absurd. It was absurd. Like Bobo doesn't realize that Falcons leave the building, so they never take the building. They sit at the cart, which lets Twisted Minds take the building. And if they couldn't get it,
Okay.
what's
Okay,
his face?
let-
Al
let-
literally said they were going to fight Falcons.
Let me
So,
say something
that
else.
game could have gone completely different.
I think even if Babu took the building, Twisted Mind will still take the building
Yeah.
because you can't hold top on bottom and then top. They will Twisted Mind still force themselves into the building, either bottom or top.
Alb's com was if I can't get bottom floor, we're going to fight bridge. Who knows what happens if they fight the bridge? Maybe I'll just wipe them. I talked to your team yesterday, and they said they would have wiped them, and it would have been
Bro.
fine. They still win, but
We will still win it. I mean,
We
but
definitely
they will
we definitely
beat-
need 10 games for match point day. We'll all be tired and we'll be unhealthy for our
Oh my
bodies. and But if we want our esport to just be like match point is this, and we're having 1.2 million viewer concurrent finals, bro, we just need match point to go 10 games.
Yeah,
maybe
but
we
we
just need the
we
players
can't
to lock
force
in
it.
and get that Newcastle wall slightly angled so they get all
Yes,
3
that's
players in
exactly
LG.
what we need.
Maybe
Yes.
that's what we need.
Yes, we need that too.
or we need Zach to not stay on the same side on LG when he realized that the team in front of him is a cat, so they can't really wall him into with LG same time. But
No,
he
LG
just plays
has-
on the side of the cats, and then he doesn't get walled. Cat walled.
LG, have you watched that endgame? I could share my screen. They could not have played that endgame worse. Like every step of their last 2 minutes of that game was played perfectly opposite of what they should have done. They should have thirded the flat top height. They could have gibby-ulted us and just or catwalled and just like ran around. Or not catwalled, but you get the point. Because they were rampart, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah, they were.
they could have totally thirded that fight on flat top, and there's nothing that cat team could do with their gibby ult and them pressuring behind with a team underneath them. They could have made so many different plays in that game. They like bubbled on top of the box.
Yep.
They-
They didn't shoot
Oh
the
my God.
Newcastle wall when the cat wall came up with Rampart.
Sweet went for like a scenic route when he left the bubble. Like there was so many things that happened in that end game. Oh, bro. And like when what was their name? They were Go Next at the time, right?
Go next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
next.
When they were on the flat top, they had no cat wall. And if you go watch the VOD back from every team's point of view, they had zero cover. They were just crouching, sitting in the open on the snow. And we had perfect LOS of them. And I was trying to kill Go Next just sitting in the open. And Sweet and LG are like wall jumping, like fatigue jumping, mastiffing us for like 60 damage a shot. So we had to stop shooting it. And I went and watched the LG VOD back, and they're literally looking at them crouching in the open, watching this guy pop 2 ult cells, and he gets everything off, and they win because of it. And I was so upset. But that's just my little rant. That's all I got. Sorry, dude. I'm
Yeah.
emotional about that one. I wanted that one, and it just felt like it was bad. Felt like it was bad.
Okay, do we go for the next topic? Okay, we rated the two systems, multiple ones, and so on. Now I think we will go for the so-called game changes, because I think we finished everything with the ALGS Open, right? We don't have any more talks about it. So the game changes, new update, new changes, new legend, Sparrow, buff for Pathfinder. First of all, what did you miss in these changes? What did you really wish to see in this latest update if you didn't see it? And what do you like about the latest updates from the latest update?
Crypto killed.
Killed? What about Castle killed?
Castle is not as obnoxious as Crypto.
I think he's
it's
more-
slightly better.
Both of them.
I think it's slightly better. Both of them deleted would have been nice, but
I haven't opened the game. I got
That's
I
a
got
good-
home. I got home from Costa Rica at like 2 a.m. and it's 2 o'clock. I woke up and instantly did the podcast, and I'm gonna go open the game for the first time when I'm done with this. Play ranked. So I have
mean,
no
like-
fucking clue.
You asking
shit.
from like a competitive standpoint or just the game in general?
Competitive standpoint.
Okay, because I was gonna say the game in general, nothing really changed that much. You're still running the same guns. You're still playing the exact same characters in ranked. It's kind of
Are we on the same
Annoying.
guns? The next question gonna come
No.
after.
Is Havoc usable?
This is
Yeah,
gonna come
Yeah, it
afterward.
is.
This
Well, I
gonna
guess
come afterward.
post Havoc and Bocek buff, it's a little different. But like before that, you were still just picking up like Scouts, 30-30s, P20s, R9s. At least for me. So
I mean,
and
I
that's
think
what was dying
99,
to.
99 is really good. People are underestimating the
Oh, yeah.
99.
Mozems,
Especially if you
Mozam,
are playing Assault
Devo,
Legend
yeah,
with the
Mozam,
fast.
Devo,
Devo,
yeah,
Devo,
Devo. But that
R9.
feels corny because everybody's just playing ballistic Devo and it's annoying in ranked. But even though I do it too.
This is a dumb question. Is Ballistic Diva better than the Rampage?
I don't know. It's a hard question.
It's a hard question.
This is one of the questions that actually I
Yeah.
have it. Holy.
It gives it the turbo, so it just.
The
I
question.
know,
I
but
have not
dude,
decided.
Shark's Rampage TTK is and bullet for bullet, it's doing so much.
The mid-range
So
is good.
if you do the TTK when the Devo is fully charged, let me tell you in a
TTK is
second.
better than
Yeah,
Devo
it's
is
better,
better.
but I want to see how much better. Okay,
Oh,
on purple,
087.
yeah, it's basically okay. The way I would describe this is the Devotion is an R9 with 60 bullets, because if you adapt the damage to the capacity, damage per mag, it's around that. That's how it is. But a Rampage, A shoots instantly, B breaks doors, C has a gun shield. I've not decided yet, so I no idea.
I think it's a Rampage
You run
angle.
one of two.
I think it's a
You're
Rampage
not-
angle. I think still it's a Rampage angle. On the ballistic, I think it's a Devo. People needs to start using Devo more. 99 feels good. P20, it's still annoying as hell. You go in the point where you don't know if you need to use a P20 or not. This is like Devo. You need to learn how to play Devo. I'm not gonna say even more. I'm not gonna even tell you how to play it more. There is a you need to learn.
Good point. The Devo is the accelerator too.
And
though,
accelerator.
So that's
Yeah.
nice.
Only
Like,
problem
on
is getting it to
crypto-
purple.
On crypto, you have to either
What is
run
that?
Bocek, Sentinel, or Devo. You have to run one of three on crypto.
What do we
Yeah.
run? What do we run?
Does
On
that even
crypto.
matter on Ballistic? Ballistic is so short. Does that matter?
No, but it doesn't
Well,
matter for ballistic.
It-
I'm not
no.
talking about ballistic. We're not talking about ballistic. I think it's just like overall Devo versus. I mean, I think in my opinion, Rampage is Devo. Rampage is ballistic sling. Still, Rampage ballistic sling. The question is, Devo, 99, P20, Mozam Akimbo, Havoc, or Eva 8. Which one would you go?
I
Gotta
don't
be
think you're an
PTs, no?
Eva. I
Huh?
don't think you're an Eva.
You don't run Eva, I guess so.
I think it has you have to be insanely accurate, and if you shoot me at this distance,
Not
suddenly
good.
you suck.
Not
Yeah,
good.
it does nothing.
Eva not good. What will you go? Havoc? Chat, what did you go yourself? I feel it's 99, Evo, P20, Mozam.
We're on
Even
R9.
though I'm
We're-
maybe Mozam
Yeah,
P20.
I like R9 personally.
I like 99. I like 99, and I think Devo, if you learn how to play it, it's just fucked. The only problem is the strafe speed. The only problem with the Devo is strafe speed. You cannot ADS. While 99, you are just fully insanely good. You don't miss anything. I mean, you miss a little bit of strafe speed when you are versus the P20, how you were doing P20 before. But I think 99 is just what? Maybe Mozam or I don't know. I think Devo, the problem is with it is the ADS. That's all of it. Because LMG, it's LMG.
Well, it's the same thing with Havoc too. It's like you could argue that Havoc's really good right now as well, but the second you ADS that, like a good R9 player is clipping your shit,
Yes.
right? If he
Yes.
doesn't one clip you, you're going to one clip him. So
Okay,
it's like
so
a never ending argument.
I'm hesitant about the Havoc because you have that issue. You have a lower damage per mag. It's still good damage per mag,
Not
but it's
lower.
lower. The hipfire is
Then
trash.
Devo, you mean?
No,
Then
the
Devo.
Havoc. I'm
Then
talking
Devo
about,
or what? Lower damage per mag to what? Versus what?
before versus how it used to be when it was OP. Sorry, the
That's
Havoc.
not very low. Mhm.
But with the hipfire being so bad, you can notice it because you miss a lot of shot.
Spam ADS.
Because the hipfire
Yeah.
is bad. But if you ADS, you get clipped.
Spam ADS. Spam ADS, not ADS.
It has his drawbacks, a lot of them, and so I'm not sure. I think it's good. I'm not sure if I would run it over.
I don't know. You don't run. I
you
think
would run
Havoc.
R9.
I don't think you run Havoc unless you're MNK. I guess that's the only thing. Unless you're an MNK and then you run Havoc until you find everything for the Devo and then you swap it to take a Devo
Yes.
to purple.
But if you're MNK, aren't you better off running Mozam?
P20
What the
or
fuck?
Mozam? Yeah, the only thing is like it's a more damage, right? And if you have a fast reload as well, it's a good. I don't know.
I'd rather run Moslems. Say that I'm some like character that just likes to move a lot, and like if I'm an assault character, if I'm Banger, I would rather run Moslems, I think.
Okay, good. Next question is now Pathy. Is Pathy going to be played? And if yes, when? Pathy has now integrated 50% reduced damage into his base kit. Now he can go into either double zip lines or double grapples. So is Pathy going to see love? And if yes, which game? And yeah, what do you think?
He's gonna see definitely a lot of love. He's a good character. I don't particularly like him, but I can't deny that he's good.
I think he's going after. I think he's going after Alter and Wraith, but before Ash.
I think before Bright even. For
Wraith is
certain
better.
teams.
Wraith is better.
For certain teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say for certain teams, I could definitely see
Yeah.
Path going.
Yeah.
Wraith.
Okay.
We'll be one of those teams. Lose Path versus like lose Wraith. We'll be one of those teams.
True. Yeah. And what else do you have? The questions is, and it was a Sparrow. I mean, Zach. I wanted to hear his opinion, but he's not anime. He doesn't even know what Sparrow is. I don't think he does. He has no idea how it looks like, how he looks like Sparrow, or what he does. So the question is to anyone of you, what do we think of Sparrow? Is it a good? Is it worth it? What do we think? Is he before Crypto? Before Castle? Is he game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4? When does Sparrow comes in?
I think it's too early to say.
It's too early to
Yeah.
say.
That's such a fucking cop out, bro. Give him something juicy. You're
I don't
definitely
think
right.
he goes before
Listen,
Crypto.
That's the right answer. You're totally right, by the way. Just to be clear,
Yes, I
that is
know.
the right answer. But give him something juicy here. Like,
He
what are your actual
can.
thoughts on the character right now?
I have my thoughts.
Those
I have my
coaches,
thoughts on
man.
the character, but I cannot share them.
Oh, this motherfucker, bro. Like,
Those
God.
coaches, man.
Bro,
Holy
dude, Funk's not in his prime anymore, bro. Like, I'm not sure the version of Funk. I'm gonna just starting drama, bro. We gotta get something juicy out of you.
I think Sparrow.
I think Sparrow
Okay,
is
look.
after.
I think he's the most fun I've had on a character in a while.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Thanks. Thanks. That was
Anyway,
fire.
Nice. Good. So I think we have every question finished. We have an
I was
individual.
just gonna say, since he won't talk about Sparrow, I think he can actually kind of be insane in comp for the simple fact that think about how many times you're just like stuck in a spot, but you can see a survey beacon and you can't reach it. Maybe you don't have crypto's banned, whatever. Getting that information could completely change your game. And also, I think his ult will destroy people in competitive because there's just too many times where like you're just stuck. You throw an ult down there and they're dead. So I don't think he gets played over Crypto, but I think after Crypto ban, I could definitely see Sparrow getting in the mix
100%.
because he's got like the survey beacon power of a Crypto, but like a Horizon ult essentially. It's kind of crazy.
I think it's a kind of teams how teams comfortable is teams that they hit the Crypto and they get in a way with the Sparrow because Sparrow is an active legend. Sparrow is reactive. As Sparrow does not need a big setup of a Crypto whatever. Sparrow gives some teams this type of playstyle, and depends on the team. We'll get a Sparrow or we'll get a Crypto or we'll get a Castle, whatever the team is.
I don't even know what this character does, bro. I'm excited to open my game.
So this character throws an ult that can destroys everything around it, gets a lot of damage around on people, and it even breaks a castle wall with some pulses.
It starts pulsing and it just starts doing damage.
And
every
it hits people like it's a really hit scan
the
immediately.
Ult or the attack?
That's the ult.
That's ult.
And it
Thank
slows
God.
you when you're in it, so it's harder to get out of it.
If it hits you 20 damage and it slows you down. If it falls away from Watson Jin, not inside of the Watson Jin, Jin will not eat it and it will break Jin. If it's not directly on the castle wall, a little bit away from it where it doesn't get zapped, it can break the castle wall. It pulses. It has a 500 HP, and you have a perk to get even more. His Q can put something on the ground like the same as Sova in Valorant, and it can scans people when they move near it, and you can know about them. Or you can scan a console from UAV from away. If you hit the UAV. If you hit the UAV, not the UAV itself, but like away near the UAV, because it has like a radius for the Q. And he is pretty good movement as a passive, insane movement. Like wall jumping.
Yeah, the Q, you can shoot it. All it has to have is just line of sight for like a second, and then it'll start tracking you. And after 2 seconds, it'll give them like wall hacks, basically. But you can shoot it out while it's in the process of trying
Yes.
to lock onto you. But
So
you can
it's,
shoot it from like hella far. So
The legend is not bad. I think it just depends on the team how they will play. I think that the legend is good. His ult is his strongest kit, and I think
Yeah.
it just needs people to figure out how it is. It has a lot of skill ceiling, especially for hitting UAVs from far. Pretty cool. Good. I think we are so far pretty good set for this. We have a individual
Now
question.
you're gonna say that we are halfway through.
I mean, not halfway. We are finished almost. We just like have individual questions for each one right now. We don't have any more. We don't have individual questions for you, Liuq, but we have a one for and a few for Zach. I think 1 or 2, and for J2. We start with Zach. I don't know why people are asking this one, but like, when are you going to do the hair transplant? Sorry
idea.
for that.
That's why I asked.
he tweeted about it. Yeah.
I know.
I tweeted about it 2 days ago in Costa Rica. I'm not going to have an answer 2 days later, but we'll see. Not that anyone fucking cares, but apparently people care.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. There's like hair medicines and stuff that you're supposed to take before it, and a bunch of prep and so much more that goes into it. And we'll see. I have no idea. I'll probably get it done in Turkey to save money, but I've seen like 30 different content creators get sponsored to do them in NA and just do like promotions and stuff like that. So we'll see if I can get a cool deal, and if I can't, then probably Turkey. And if I don't do it within if I don't get a hair transplant right after EWC, it'll be because I'm taking like the hair medicines to see the effect that has in the first place. That's all I got.
Second question to you, Zach. Why did you contest Gnaske into that LAN, and do you regret not taking checkpoints where you could actually even win LAN, being in checkpoint for that set of zones, the same as RC had? The old
Wait,
LAN. The old LAN.
Why didn't I want checkpoint?
First of all, why did you contest Gnaske? Do you regret for contesting Gnaske and not having a checkpoint as a PY because you had a checkpoint for you? Because you could have even won LAN from checkpoint? Because RC had insanely broken sets for them. They even won one game, I think, or second, because it was like Northpad. The set was like extremely broken. And
Yeah, no,
100%.
100%.
Yeah. So why did you contest?
Well, I mean,
and do you regret?
Obviously, it's gonna be hindsight. Whatever like zone set it's gonna be, right? So like I can't control something like that where like they get Northpad zones and their checkpoints, so they just win the game or get top 2 for free, right? Can't control stuff like that. But the Pro League leading up into the LAN, we were like, I had like an internal battle with myself that was like somewhat silent, and then kind of took it out on Talmadge in the sense of going Cedo versus checkpoint, because I didn't care to contest because I knew how good of a team we had on E8. So I was like, oh, we can just contest anyone. It doesn't matter. We'll just win over time. And we were winning contests like off stream and in scrims leading up into the tournament. We were on them in the contest like badly. It wasn't close, but on game day it didn't play out that way. And yeah, I mean, if I could go back in time and change that, I probably would. I don't really know. It's so long ago that I don't really know what I would do differently, to be honest with you, because I think it's already been proven that like it's really hard to win a tournament with just like the worst POIs imaginable. So I definitely would have probably still ended up contesting somebody. I just don't know who, because I wouldn't have played from like Bean or Cliffside. I wouldn't
But
have
you
done
had
that.
a checkpoint.
Well, I had checkpoint when that was before RC was going there, and RC was going to contest Gnaske in them, right?
Nah, they weren't. They had no
Then
PY.
RC is gonna go Cliffside.
They had no PY.
You see what I'm saying? It's a never-ending thing if we don't have.
He said he would have contested.
Okay,
He
there you
would.
go.
He had no PY. Why would he contest a PY that he did not even have it? The guy was Ceto contesting and not checkpoint. He would have never.
He would have contested Ceto. Yeah, if they weren't already contesting for it. So
no, they would not go checkpoint contested. I'm almost sure.
No. I'm saying Obley said to me, if only one team was landing Ceto, they would have contested the Ceto.
Ceto, agree. Okay,
Yes.
not the checkpoint. Yes, agree.
They
Okay.
The
weren't
only
going-
reason they went checkpoint was because there was already a contest and they didn't want a three-way contest. That would have been insane. So.
That means RC would have never won LAN. RC would have never won LAN.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that
the
was
team-
the issue with it. That was the issue with us not going checkpoint and just taking the free POI, which is totally fair.
Yeah. The question,
Totally fair.
you griefed us as well. Because a contest and a Ceto is f***ing our rotations. We even died one game because you guys
Listen,
contested
bro.
and you killed us.
Listen, bro. All I'm saying
That
is like, look
character
what
actor.
happened to Gnaske's career post that contest, and look what happened to mine. We're in very different places in life in esports right now, and
Yeah.
I wish him nothing but the best. But hey, if I could go back in time and change my mind, yeah, I think going
Holy
checkpoint would have been good. Great
Oh.
hindsight that would have been to have zone 7 times out of checkpoint, like the Pro League day 1. That would have been great. That would have been great. I would have loved to play from checkpoint. I wish I could go back in time and change it. I can't.
Hey,
I
still
made a
won a game,
mistake,
though.
but I learned from it. I tied the record for the most points
Oh
in the
my
history
God.
of a grand final ever. We tied that, so hey, at least we did something at the LAN.
No.
I played really bad, and I played with ego, and I made some bad calls and made some bad decisions that I definitely regret. That I'm glad I learned from, and yeah, definitely made some mistakes there.
Okay, next question to you, Zach, and that's the last question to you, okay? Oh, no, actually, you have it too. First of all, what was the biggest lesson you learned from the Rostermania as you went through before, especially the latest implosion of E8?
Oh, I can't answer that. I
You
can't
learned.
answer the last part of the question, but I can answer the first part of the question.
But yeah, what was the
Um,
biggest lesson you learned? Yeah.
The biggest lesson I learned is the grass isn't always greener. I mean, you like, for example, like the Alberlele knocked move, right? That really taught me a while ago that it matters like roles more so than like star power. So like, yeah, you could put Koi, Zainu, and Hal on a team, but that doesn't always mean it'll work, right? It's really important to have the right people in the right roles and stuff like that. That was probably the most valuable lesson I learned from it. Stuff after that, I slowly learned over the years was like, being an IGL is so much more than just like not being good at like calling macro and stuff like that. It's like the actual like way of maturity and like leading a team and how much more that does for like the longevity of a team and the growth of the team and how far you could actually, or how good you actually can become. And that took me many, many, many years of just like acting like a child on like C9 and that.
Mhm.
But I mean, by now it's definitely a much different environment, and I think that's a super underrated aspect of being an IGL is understanding how to be a healthy leader. And I
Mhm.
still struggle with it, but a lot better than before.
Okay, lovely. Last question to you, Zach. And what will you do next Pro League day when you don't get good zones?
Green Falcons. Dumbass question is that? Of course, I'm going to pick the POI next to you in the next draft because the next draft we are 20th pick. So I'm going to find the POI next to you. I'm going to get a good POI on the map. I'm going to be right next to you on the other. And if we don't get zoned, I'm fucking ratting this shit out of
You
Ben.
think
I'm purposely only killing Ben, and then I'm running away, and then I'm gonna listen to Reese scream in the other room at Ben, and then I'm gonna find them on the res and fucking stream snipe them
You
because I
tried
can
it.
hear him through the wall,
Wait.
and then I'm gonna fucking kill Ben again, and then Reese is gonna take it out,
It's
and then it's
not.
gonna blow up the team.
He tried it at LAN. Look what happened to him.
I'm
We
going to
chased him
specifically
down.
target
He
anyone
tried it
other than
with-
Zero on the roster until Zero freaks out.
He
That's what I was
tried it at LAN. And look what happened. We chased him down. We didn't even let him run away.
What did we do?
At
I
LAN.
don't remember what we
when,
did,
when
but
you
I'm
when
sure
you
we
rat
did
when you rat us in Lutos and you cost yourself a 15 point 20 point game and you cost us the fucking champs.
Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. Thank God I did that, or else we would have got 5th. Fuck you.
No,
Do it again.
you could have zero. You got 0 point game. What the? You got 0 point
but
game.
wasn't our like next 3 games our best 3 games?
Yeah, but you could have got.
yeah, other way around.
You could
Bro,
have
we
had
were
a-
in like fucking 17th at that point in time.
No,
Thank
that's
God
not
I
true.
did that.
That's not true. You were like I think 14th, and you could have got 20
Oh yeah,
point
bro,
game.
so much better.
But 20 point game could have jumped you just instantly to that top 8 without even doing anything. You don't go with the
Top
hindsight.
8, I finished 5th.
Yeah, but like you don't go with the hindsight like I'm gonna get good games. Why would I throw a good game in front of me for just being right? Like just scan a console, you see the zone, it's a fucking free. No one is there because that's a hard pool.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Free
that was really
game.
bad. That was really bad.
Good.
Glad I did it. Really bad. Wouldn't do it again.
Glad
Wouldn't
I
do
did
it
it.
again.
I cost you a chance, but fine, all good. Good. Next now.
Hey, bro, if I let you win that champs, we wouldn't have had our Lord and Savior Go Next win it. And if Go Next didn't win it, would we be having the conversation about how EU is the greatest region in the history of the game?
Oh yeah, that's true.
They're just so good. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Thanks for the questions.
Now we are done from you. We're going for Jay, and we have only 2 questions for Jay. Jay, how long does a video one of those videos that you do usually, how long does it take from you, and how much of effort? And is it really worth it? What you try to do all the time with this of efforts? Kind of, I mean, worth it only in terms of like financially back. Is it
In
worth
terms
it?
of like the direct money I make per video,
Yes.
absolutely not. It is not worth it at all because I have only done like 2 sponsorships ever. If I was getting sponsorships on every video, yes, but I'm not. So the actual like YouTube money I make like a couple $100 on a video, unless they like absolutely pop off like my His Watson one or something, right?
Yeah.
But a normal video, no. I like that Go Next video. I spent weeks making that thing, and I've made like $180. So
Oh god.
in terms of the financial aspect directly, no. But at the same time, like the whole reason I get to go work at Lands is because I've made the videos. So there
True.
is like the indirect stuff. Like I do
True.
get paid for those. So that's cool.
True.
And also I just like doing it. So I think there's a lot of cool stories that get to be told. And I
Mhm.
like to be the one to do it. And
Love
if
it.
I mean, the whole reason I made my channel was because there was just a lot of stories that were happening that I thought were cool and I wanted people to know about. So
Love it.
yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love
In
it.
terms of how long they take, it
Few
takes. It just depends. Like certain videos, like I have to go watch a lot of VODs to like truly know what happens all in the moment because sometimes some random POV that you don't think is involved in what happens is because of like they are supposed to play a certain way and they don't, which frees up things for all these other teams. So that can take a long time. I try to interview the teams and it can take a while to like schedule everything and get that happened. Editing takes forever because my videos are long. So yeah, I mean it takes weeks usually. I was way quicker back in the day, but that was when they were worse. So
Okay. Lovely. Next one is people wants to know what's your next video.
ooh, take a wild guess.
Take a wild guess, chat.
A
I
team
know
wins
that.
LAN. I make a video about them. Take a wild guess who it's gonna be about.
So yeah.
Insider info.
Nerds.
I interviewed the whole team last night. Shout
Done.
out.
Done.
There you go.
Okay, chat. You have it. You have it. Soon. Gonna get up soon.
That said,
You
that
might-
answer's boring.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
You might only make $180 on that video of Go Next winning, but think about it this way: you're investing in a long term. You're investing in Apex becoming that esport, and if Apex becomes that esport, your channel, dude, you will be famous as a mother. Those
If
videos
this
are
pod-
You're
incredible.
gonna be you and Jumba, I don't know how you
Yeah,
pronounce
bro.
it,
Jumba,
but are
yeah.
gonna be those guys.
Yeah, you will pass like every player outside of like Hal and a handful of them if the game took off because
Yeah.
the videos are so properly made.
If this podcast can take over ALGS and we can make it bigger than CS, bigger than League, like Liuq thinks
Wow.
we can, then
Yeah,
it's gonna take off, baby.
Eh,
I'm gonna be huge.
Yeah, we love it. We love
Hey.
me, bro.
If I understand how far-fetched the idea that this could be like even I know it's impossible for us to pass League. Okay, I know that.
Mhm.
But
What
if
if
you're
we
watching
did?
if you're watching the two esports and you compare watching a League finals and an Apex Matchpoint finals,
You're right.
I personally have way more fun with Apex. Right?
You're right.
I don't think it's even close.
We just need to get a master plan to get Korea really good at Apex. We need to
No.
get them involved.
Yeah.
Nope. None
We
of
need
that
to be
even fucking matters.
disgusting.
We
Nope,
lose
if
our
EA,
jobs.
if we don't increase the budget and fix like fucking face it, it doesn't matter how good Korea gets. Doesn't matter.
But what if
Yeah.
Faker became the best Apex player, dude? We'd be eating. The money would
Yeah.
go insane.
True.
That's
Even-
it on the video thing. Obviously, the Falcons video is next, but that's a boring answer. I've had a video that I've interviewed so many people for this one. I told Liuq about this when I interviewed them for the GG video.
Mm.
I'm gonna make one about the Edge playstyle because in other battle royales, it doesn't exist. Like in Fortnite, if you play Edge, you are absolutely screwed. In like PUBG, if you play Edge, you are absolutely screwed. It doesn't exist in other BRs for the most part. There could be some random one. And so I'm going to make a video about it. Because also, every person I talk to, they're like, when you think about Edge, like you said, fake Edge, they say that because the perception is you just got to go kill everybody. So I'm going to make a video about it.
Yeah, which
Oh,
is just straight up wrong for
Yeah.
Edge in general.
I've interviewed a lot of people over the history of the Edge play style. Sea Lion, Hawkus, 9 Impulse, a lot of people already. More interviews coming too. We'll see when it comes out. No idea. But it's going to be sick.
Lovely. Okay. Gnaske is not there, so
Did Funk reach out to you? Or did you guys reach out to Funk?
No comment.
no comment.
When Funk reached out to you, was it a no-brainer, or was it like someone has to go no matter what for Funk? I'm just
No-
kidding. I'm not.
no
No,
comment.
no answer.
He could never answer any of this. Fuck me.
No answer.
Who do you think is the most valuable? That's kind of a question. I was gonna say, who do you think is the most valuable coach besides yourself?
Mm.
But that's kind of an easy answer
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Well,
Well, who do you think it is, Zach? Who's the answer?
Kyle, are you kidding me? That guy's a
It has to
full-time
be like-
therapist.
Well, I
Are
mean,
you, have you
I was
fucking-
thinking-
bro?
do we consider him a coach if he's a therapist?
Bro, the work that guy had.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Coach should be
was,
therapist,
was
number one.
I was debating either Kyle or Don, personally.
Therapist.
I mean, yeah.
There's a guy who knows them both very closely. It's going to be Kyle by miles right now. But Don is very capable of doing
Yeah,
anything as well.
I mean, the fact that Kyle, we all know we all saw the streams. Obviously, we all saw what happened on stream and all the fights and everything. And Kyle still made them work, and they were the best team by far.
They're just the
Well, no,
goats, bro.
It's them and Alliance, and
Yeah.
Shameless plug for the Falcons video. I asked him how he felt as the coach when Zero called Hal a mental terrorist and his approach to what happened after that. Find out when it comes out.
man,
Ooh.
I need to know that.
Excited.
Like, I will say it. I will admit it with no issues. I need to learn from other coaches a lot.
Yeah, the video
I
will be
actually look
insane.
To do so.
Good. I think we have it. I think we are done. 3 hours of a podcast. Oh my god. But thank you very much. That was insane, and I don't
I'm
know how
gonna
to
eat
thank you more.
pizzas.
Eat your pizza, eat your food. Thank you
Two
really
pizzas.
very,
Two,
very,
I do.
very much for being here and being around. It was insane. It was nice to talk to every one of you. I think we finished now. Everything. Finally, we finished everything. Do you have any more things that we forgot? Do we think, guys? All right. I don't know how to thank you enough. Thank you really so much for being here. Thank you for making the time for that. That was insane. That was insane for me. That was insane for me.